Welcome back, it's season 3, Beyond Business, come ride with me. Nick Freno in the house, sharing stories that inspire. From every walk of life, we're lighting that fire. Lessons learned, journeys shared, good vibes and laughs, we're fully prepared. Brought to you by Buick Real Estate. Let's dive deep, it's gonna be great. From the ups and downs, we rise and grind. Every guest has a tale, every tale is a find. Exploring the wisdom that life has to give. Together we grow, that's how we live. Lessons learned, journeys shared, good vibes and laughs, we're fully prepared. Brought to you by Buick Real Estate. Let's dive deep, it's gonna be great. So grab a seat, don't miss the ride. Beyond Business with Nick, let's take it in stride. Join the conversation, let's make it last. With stories and insights, we're having a blast.
Hey listeners, before we kick off today's episode, I want to take a moment to highlight our incredible Season 3 sponsor, Vuig Commercial Real Estate. If you're in the market for commercial properties in Central Illinois, look no further than Vuig Commercial Real Estate. With a dedicated team led by Tim Vuig and Cole Babcock, they bring unparalleled expertise and a deep understanding of the local market to meet your commercial real estate needs. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, lease, or invest, Tim and Cole are committed to providing personalized service and guidance every step of the way. Their passion for helping clients navigate the complexities of commercial real estate sets them apart in the industry. So, if you're ready to take your business to the next level or find that perfect commercial space, reach out to Vuig Commercial Real Estate. You can find them on all social media platforms at VuigRealEstate.com or give them a call at 217-450-8500. Trust me, you'll be in great hands. And thank you, Tim and Cole, for your unwavering support of our show. If you're looking to refresh your space or tackle that long-awaited project, Clean Cut Painting and Handyman is here to help. Clean Cut specializes in a wide range of services, from stunning interior and exterior painting and small construction projects to room remodels, deck staining, and flooring. They truly have the expertise to transform your home into the beautiful sanctuary you've always dreamed of, or even just take care of the things you have been putting off that need done. And guess what? They have some fantastic promotions running this March. If you book any interior painting project for March or April dates, you'll receive an incredible 15% off. It's a perfect time to give your home a fresh look just in time for spring. If you're thinking of sprucing up the outside of your home, they've got that covered too. You can enjoy 10% off exterior painting projects under $5,000. And if you're planning a larger project, get ready for a jaw-dropping $1,000 off any exterior painting projects over $5,000. So whether you're looking to enhance your home's curb appeal or make your interior pop, Clean Cut Painting and Handyman is the one to call. Visit their website or give them a call today to take advantage of these amazing offers. Remember, when you choose Clean Cut, you're not just getting a service, you're supporting a company that empowers women in the industry. If you're in the market for custom apparel, look no further than Oakwood Screen Printing. This company specializes in all things apparel, offering high-quality designs on everything from t-shirts to hoodies to hats to bags to jackets to wall art to office swag to mugs to tumblers to, well, you name it, and they customize it. Whether you're promoting your business, celebrating a special event, or just want to express your unique style, Oakwood Screen Printing has you covered. What sets them apart is their attention to detail and commitment to customer satisfaction. They use top-notch materials and the latest printing techniques to ensure your designs look vibrant and last for years to come. For a limited time, if you use promo code BB217 at checkout, you will receive an additional 15% off your order. So, if you want to make a statement with your apparel, reach out to Oakwood Screen Printing today at oakwoodscreenprinting.com. You won't be disappointed. And now let's get into today's conversation. Hey,
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the show. Enjoy this sit down with a friend of the show, a longtime friend of mine, U.S. military veteran, and founder, owner, and operator of Stars and Stripes Guttering, Patrick Riley. Or how old are you, bro? Are we the same age?
Dude, I will be 49 soon.
So you're a couple years older than me.
In a month.
You grew up here?
Grew up here.
Where'd you go to school?
Born and raised. I went to, growing up, I grew up on Maple.
I'm going to do this because this is covering your face.
Oh, dude. There you
I
go.
want to see the hands.
Have we even started?
Oh, we've been going.
Oh, so you in the middle of the damn podcast, we just fix shit?
Oh, yeah. I'll
Okay.
cut that out.
Okay.
I'll cut.
Oh.
I'm not going to put out the part about you trying not to be gay. We're
No,
gonna,
that's fine. I mean, trying not to. I have, but $20 is $20.
yeah. 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 So what had happened? Where'd you go to school at?
I grew up on Maple and Sawyer Street, kind of like in part of the hood, like right on the outside, right against the railroad tracks. You know, it was like mixed neighborhood of, older folks and white and black kids. And I ended up going to Garfield School.
Right.
So we would walk down Sawyer Street all the way down to Grand to go to Garfield. And then I went to Roosevelt,
Yeah.
7th and 8th grade. And my parents were already divorced, and my mom remarried, and so we moved out into the country. But I still was in that Roosevelt MacArthur school district. We moved out into the country, right on the edge of town. So I still got the same school. So that was my freshman year. I was at MacArthur,
Okay.
even though we moved. So
So you didn't know anything else. That was school.
School, and so then we end up in the middle of my sophomore year, I ended up moving in with my dad on the far east end of town, out by the airport, and I rode the rest of the year out at MacArthur, and then my junior year I went to Eisenhower.
All right. So when you say, now we say, you grew up, it was the hood, but then
In my junior high,
did you think that, or was it like, no, it was just what it was?
It was just the way it was. It was just.
It was home.
You went to school,
And it was what?
I would pretty much Garfield. I would say was probably 80%. Black kids. I wasn't close to 50-50, but dude, that's just our neighborhood. That's how.
That's
my neighborhood. That's what it was. We had this kid was here. This kid was here. We played backyard football. We wrestled. We did WWE. That big movie came out. Red Dawn. We all thought Rambo was coming out. We all thought we was just warriors. Yes, we was just warriors in their neighborhoods, and we just all grew up in the same neighborhood. And we would go to other neighborhoods and battle them in football or basketball. That's just how it was.
All
and then
of
when
our parents were struggling.
Yes, my babysitter was this black lady who lived across the street. She had 4 kids. Her husband worked at Firestone.
Yep.
Well, mom worked at ADM, so she would leave us with the neighborhood lady to watch us, and she would treat us like we were her kids.
Right.
We was messing up. I mean, she had a wiffle ball bat. She'd whack you, and then she'd tell my mom, I'd be like, hey, I whacked him today, so I'd get it again when I got home, That's just how it was. If you was slipping, the neighborhood moms would watch you. Everybody watched everybody. It was pretty dope neighborhood growing up. Like, I was blessed. I wish kids got to live that.
That's what I'm saying.
Instead of like what we got now. Nowadays, they live in that same neighborhood. They got to dodge and duck bullets, man, and they know more people that die, than they know that live and graduate high school. It's kind of sad. That same neighborhood has just went downhill so far, and it's every neighborhood across the United States. It ain't just this neighborhood.
Yeah.
It's Springfield, Danville, Champaign, Rockford. Every community has really went downhill. And those little tight knit inner city communities,
But it's just
because we would just fight. That's how I started fighting.
But it's got to be us. It's got to be us, though, right? It's our generation because we're now supposed to be the old people watching the kids, and we're not.
It ain't. No, it's Facebook and social media and music, and that all has a direct effect.
You don't have to go mingle to make friends.
You don't.
Yeah.
And if you have beef with somebody, you can just put it online. You ain't got to watch your mouth when you know he's got 3 of his friends. You walk into the park. You used to beef. You'd beef in person, or you'd be like, "I heard you said something."
Yeah.
Well, now we fight. Well, on Facebook, you're behind Facebook. You
don't even know why you're fighting.
You be on the other side of town. You might not see each other. You don't have to be in this. You're not in the same circle for a minute, and then all of a sudden, something happens in the community, and now you face to face, and you gotta.
It's kind of robbing kids, dude.
Oh, big time. Super.
Of just
super.
interacting, like you just said, whether one day you thought you were WrestleManiac, the next day you thought you were a war hero, the next day you thought you were a running back, the next day you thought you were a baseball star.
Yeah, man. We had 3 channels on TV. We didn't even have real cable. It was 3 TV channels. If it was a rain day, it was miserable. If your friend didn't come from across the street, it was just you.
That sucks.
Your siblings, or it was just you, watching them 3 channels. Now, you got 380.
You got to make kids go outside.
Yes, you got to turn off their Wi-Fi. They don't have that. Back in then, we had bicycles, and we had games we would play.
Make up.
We had ramped everything. Nowadays, no.
Well, so that's one of my favorite things. Every store you go in, even I think Dollar Tree, when you're in there all season, they have that wiffle ball bat, and at the end, hooked to it is the ball.
Man.
And that's what every time I'm like, dude, only one person in the neighborhood had to get that, and we were straight. For like weeks, and we would tape up the bat because it would bend. We'd tape that up.
Really cool. Like growing up in my neighborhood, my mom worked, but my mom was super strict, and there's neighborhood kids that were more disadvantaged than me. If I was grounded or I had chores I needed to do, man, they'd come to the house. They'd be like, "Hey, we want to go to the park and play." I'm like, "Well, I'm the one with the new basketball, and I cannot play basketball." I'll tell you right now. Growing up, you would have thought growing up in that neighborhood, I would be good at basketball. I am absolutely horrible. They picked me last every time. The only reason they picked me is because I would be.
It was your ball.
Well, there's my ball, but I was just the meanest. You know what I mean? So I was like the Dennis Rodman of like
the park.
I would just run somebody over, and I was horrible at basketball. I just don't know why.
Right.
But.
Never
I would give them the ball. I get it. I'm like, "Hey, I'll meet you guys down there. Hey, you want to take my spare bike? Go ahead and go. I'll meet you. I'll walk. Take my bike.
We
had to go to Hess Park, go walk." And I look back at it, it really wasn't that far. Like when I got grounded to the block, I thought, "Oh no,
this is terrible.
This is I'd walk out of the house pretending like I was miserable. I'd be like, I'm only grounded to the neighborhood. Yeah. Dude, I can't even pull my truck into that neighborhood now. My big lifted truck, I'm like, oh my God, how did I even play in this neighborhood?
Right.
It was so small. It felt so tight.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, it felt like that being grounded to the neighborhood.
So I was a Camelot kid. That's where I grew up, born and raised there. And it was like its own little world. One entrance, one exit. And we had to stay in the houses, and then got to the age where you could go down to the apartments. Then you could go to the speedway. Yeah. Once you could cross the road.
Well, in that neighborhood, you knew everybody in that neighborhood.
Yes.
You knew every single person. If you were looking back when we were kids, you didn't have cell phones. You knew by word of mouth that your mom was yelling for you. Hey, man, I just heard your mom yelling for you.
Yeah.
You'd be like, hey, tell such and such if you see him. That's how you found out. You be back.
Right.
If the street light was on, you better be home. It was summertime, man. One time the street light just came on for no reason. I was like,
oh, shit.
Well, dude, it's 4:45 and it's August. There's no reason why the street light's on. I would go home. She's like, what are you doing here? Go away. I think the street light's on, Mom.
Yeah.
I ain't trying to get.
Light check, man.
I'm like, what is going on?
Thought you were testing me.
And then the street light went out one time. I was like, sweet, ain't got to go home.
Little did I know a slingshot made it so I could stay out all night.
Yes. Man, I got so many good stories back in the day because I grew up with like some cool people. Rat's Hole Place right here.
Yeah.
Robert is his name, Taft. He has a son named Nathan. They lived right across the street. I grew up with his son. So his son's now in Florida, a grown man that living in Florida. Since I went in the Marine Corps, we pretty much lost contact since when I went in the Marines. But he lived right across the street.
You guys used to tear it up, huh?
Man, and his parents would let him just do. He'd be out 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock at night, and I'd have to be home, So they're just kind of remembering those little neighborhood things that you guys are doing,
So, and I brought this up before, and again, I think it's just funny with someone like you who can relate to it is. Where or why in the hell, in your opinion, it's like in our 30s, all of a sudden we go, wait a minute, where does this racism shit come from? We grew up around where I went, wait, no, we're not. No, it wasn't like this.
No.
Like, how is it like that when my son is a teenager, but it wasn't like that when I am? And we were closer to that day.
I think it's just socialism. You got
Social
that-
media,
Yeah,
the-
you got that. You got the pretty much. You had a couple really bad instances over
Oh,
a
yeah,
period
yeah,
of time, and then it's beaten like a dead horse. I really think that is it.
Yeah.
You know, and also when they got away from like merit-based people.
But
you know,
shit, even
hire-
back then we knew the Rodney King thing. Even the white people were going, "Oh no, you are some dumbass cops. You're
Oh,
fucked
for sure, dude.
You guys are fucked."
Because I was in the Marine Corps out there, and I was like, "Oh my god, this was a
About to-
real hot thing out there." You know,
Yeah.
I'm like, "You idiots!"
Yeah.
You know, what I mean, I'm like, "Oh man, this is pretty stupid." You know, and I was so glad that like my unit like didn't
Have
like
to-
when it didn't happen when I was.
Oh,
came in
yeah,
after the
that
Marine
was the
Corps,
fucked up part. They
but
tore the
mine
town
was like
up.
is when they were going through court is when I was in the Marine Corps. You know what I mean? Like so they were sending units from my base from Pendleton up to L.A. to help the National Guard in case something went. And you know, it was really crazy.
Oh yeah,
living out
yeah.
there.
You can't tear fucking town up. That's
Yeah,
not cool.
so you know how that was. I'm like I was in the Marine Corps during then, so that was pretty much on the news then, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I remember of it more so than. the
So did you
incidents
have?
itself.
You had? There was black dudes in the Marines with
Oh,
you.
yeah, for sure.
So when you guys are in the military, is everyone kind of looking at it through the same lens, going, "Oh, these are a bunch. These are some fucking. These cops are fucked. They're
Well,
stupid."
That too, but in the Marine Corps, you would people from different areas come together. If you were an East Coast person, regardless of what race you was, you hung out with East Coast people.
Oh,
Used
and
them
you
in
click
that
up.
type- you click up.
Okay.
Southern South
Midwest.
would hang out with the Southern South, Texas, and that
Okay.
area. And then you had the West Coast, and then the Midwest, kind of like we would fall in between. Like
You guys are like
somebody
the
did-
Fed joint.
Dude, we didn't know where we was at. We was just Midwest. They were pretty much
Corn
we hung
feds.
out with the more it was the redneck guys, you know. So that they. And it went through the ranks like that from where you were at, not
Really?
really what race you were, but you know, so
Yeah.
we didn't really see it like that.
Yeah.
You know, when I was out there.
Yeah, I just think it is crazy to me. I talked to my son about it, where I'm like, I mean, you really have to pay attention to it now, but it's like we kind of did away with something, and now you're plugging it back into people's minds
Yeah, well,
and going, "Hey, I'm glad to see we're moving past it." It's like we did that shit 20 years, 30. What
Well,
the
I'm
fuck
glad
are you
I got-
talking about?
You know, we were blessed with a mixed granddaughter. You know, and
That's
thought
right, I
my
got
children-
mixed
so, like-
grandkids, too.
So like my children going to Eisenhower, and my daughter, and we knew from little on that's what we
Yeah.
knew. I knew just from we knew.
Right,
That's what she gravitated to. She
right.
liked, and that's the way. And we didn't say, hey, you know.
So-
you just be who you want to be, you know.
Right.
That's how we was.
So I think so. This was what was funny. My daughter lived with me, and I think she moved in at like 15, and I was proving a point because she kind of ran away from her mom's, and really what it was is she had two younger brothers. Her mom had two more kids. And she was the older one, so she became the babysitter. When mom and stepdad split up, mom needed to go live a little. And so she would watch being responsible for her brothers, which I'll still say it. That's your job. You're an older sibling. I mean, maybe not to the extreme, but yeah, you're the babysitter of your brother sometimes. But she didn't like it, so she moved out. I come to the rescue, and I say, okay, this is what you want. Okay, cool. In my mind, I'm like, I'm going to punk her. So I go to Dalton City with her. We go to her mom's. Her mom didn't give me any resistance either. I said, pack her shit, coming to get her. Coming to get her shit, she's coming with me. And she's like, oh, okay. So we load up her stuff, put it in the truck. I pull in Mountain Zion School, and my daughter's going, it's like 11 o'clock during the day. And she's like, I'm going to go to school now. I go, no, I don't live in Mountain Zion School District. I don't even know how the fuck to sign you up, but I'm going to take you out because I live right by MacArthur.
Right.
And she's a freshman, sophomore in high school. So I take her out of Mount Zion. We go straight to MacArthur. I walk in. Same deal. Never signed anybody up for school. I'm a
Hey,
dad.
I'm here.
I'm a dad. I don't know how that shit
Here.
works.
Where to go to school
Hey, we
today?
got a kid. I got a kid here.
Yeah.
And here's the shit Mount Zion just gave me. And they were like, okay, she's starting today. I go, or tomorrow, however you guys want this shit to rock. I don't know.
Tell me where she needs to be and when she needs to be there.
Right. And they're like, yeah, so she's close enough that, you have to bring her. And I'm like, oh, no, I'm way closer than having to bring her. I'm only like a mile away. She can foot it.
There you go.
Perfect. Okay. Yeah. Still unfazed. She is.
Yeah.
So
You're like, yeah, I can walk.
shit didn't work at all.
No,
So here's what happened. She falls in love. Grades go up.
Well,
Fucking, I become a grandpa.
yeah. Yeah, I know about being a grandpa.
No, so what happens is we fast forward. She doesn't gravitate towards the party life at all. She has a couple jobs. By the time she's a senior, she's on honor roll, going to MacArthur, working half the day. And she's like, for my 18th birthday, I want you to help me get my own apartment. And I'm just going, dude, what's the rush? I work all the time, and when I'm not, I had a little social life at the time, so I'm barely there. And she's like, she said something to the effect of like gearing it towards me being racist. And I go, wait, what the fuck are you talking about? And she's like, well, you won't let my boyfriend come. I'm like the only person ever. I can't have my boyfriend over. And I'm like, you're in your mind, I won't let a young man come lay in my house with my daughter because of his color? And she's like, well, what? And I'm like, period. I don't give a fuck who it is, dude. There'll be one man laying up in this house. Sorry. You know, I don't give a fuck who it is. Somebody can stop by, but yeah. I mean, I'm glad that you chose not to go kick it all the time. But yeah, if you want to move out because you want someone to play movie night, it's not going to be at my house. Sorry. I mean, you can blame it on whatever you want. And I think then it was kind of like, oh yeah, I'm your daughter. I'm like, yeah, I'm not stocking the fridge so you and your boyfriend can have pizza. And I wouldn't give a shit who, where, what, from, how. So when I did help her got on her own, I think after she kind of saw for herself, it was like it made sense to her. But at the time, it was just something to latch onto and go, Dad, this is what Dad's being. And I'm like, oh, yeah. Let's start with, I didn't even know the dude you were dating is black. And it's like, oh, you didn't? I'm like, no. I'm racist, though, right? And she, I'm like,
Yep.
how about you know better than to even ask? Like, yeah, I'm not going to walk up in here and a boy be laid up under a blanket on my couch. Shit'll go bad.
Yeah.
Shit'll go bad.
Man, it's funny.
It was my first kid, too, so I don't know how to deal with shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, she knew. We understood each other. It's my baby. You know, it didn't work.
You're a little different. My daughter always had boyfriends, and young guys come over sometimes, and I'd come in from the gym, and they'd be like, "Who are you?" And I'll tell you what's funny is Darren Hill's boy.
Day-Day.
I come home, and Day-Day was at my house.
You knew Day-Day, right?
Yes. He was at my house with my daughter, and I walked in, I was like, looked at him, I'm like, what are you doing here? He's like, And then, of course, my daughter's like, you know him, quit, Dad. She was like a freshman in high school.
Right.
I was like, who are you? You know?
You're right.
Yeah, it was so funny.
But yeah, you had your wife. I mean, you had someone there. I was cold turkey, bro. I was just,
Yeah, I'm my wife.
you know what I mean? I'm just going, yes, I've never even actually parented, first of all. So
I
I'm
had
going,
a lot of practice.
yeah, I just got my daughter here. I can do this shit. By the way, the rules are, of course, no dudes. And I'm going, right? Isn't that how you do this? Anybody? No? Okay, I don't know. So I didn't know either. So I don't fucking know. Yeah. In result, yeah, she ended up, but the babies didn't come till she was 20. And my reaction to that, I had a couple buddies going, dude, you're acting like your daughter's pregnant at 14. She's been dating a boy for 5 years. She's having a kid. It's kind of what people do, right? And it's like, yeah, good call.
Yeah.
Let me fucking relax a little bit.
Well, that, and I don't want to be a grandpa.
That's
now
what
I'm
I-
like. Now I'm like, I want to be a grandpa. Grandpa's the cool part now.
Grandpa is pretty cool.
Yeah, you can just pack up their stuff when they're tired and be like, yay, there you go.
There you go.
or be like,
Matter of fact, that
oh,
shit
when
I
your
didn't want you
children-
to be pumped off of,
when
go
your
ahead and
adult
eat it
children
now.
are like, when they tell you stories of their children tearing up their shit, I just laugh like
You go.
I
That
remember
is-
that. Remember
that is
you
hilarious.
you were scratching the truck. Man, I remember that. It's so funny. Yes. Yeah, here you go. Oh, he spilled that on the carpet. Oh,
Yeah.
man. It's
Oh,
so
they
funny.
fucked up your new shit? Oh,
Yeah,
that sucks,
yeah.
right?
Oh, tore it up. Oh, awesome. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like,
It's just a couch.
A little buff. It'll be all right. A big dent. Don't worry about that.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
now laugh about it now.
Yeah.
Pretty damn funny.
It is. No,
As a grandpa, it's freaking hilarious.
yeah, that ain't no shit. So, so right, did you go to the military right when you got out of high school, or
Right
did
out
you?
of high school.
Oh, you
Yeah.
did. Like 17 or 18?
Dude, 18. I just turned 18, and I joined with a couple guys, buddies from.
Was that
high
Desert
school.
Storm time?
No,
or?
we missed that. Thank God. We're 94 to 98, so
Okay.
we missed the Desert Storm.
Yeah.
which is pretty good. And then we kind of went the second one, after 2001.
So did you go when you went to the service? Well, first, what made you go to the Marines? Was it a recruiter, or were you just?
No, my buddies. I was a pretty hothead back in high school, and I had some friends, David Qualls and Tony Tertoka. I was hanging around with, a different group of guys, and David joined the Marines and was like talking about it, and he'd been talking about it. But also, Jim Root came into the school dressed in his uniform, and I was like, damn, he was doing on recruiter's assistant or something like that at the time, and I ran into him, and I was like, damn, this dude looks cold.
The
know
sheriff?
what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was the uniform and the look and the way, and being number one. I always wanted to be number one at something. So
Yeah.
I was like, you weren't beating me up in high school. I tried to be the best track athlete as I could. I really wasn't really good at wrestling at the time, but, because we had some studs, I was like, I'm doing this just to stay in shape for track, But the Marines were number one. They were the badasses. They
Yeah.
looked good. They carried themselves better. And then so David Qualls joined, and he was recruiting, trying to get, and he talked to me about it, and I went and read the recruiter, and I was like, hey, I think this is what I want. This is what I'd like to do. I don't want to go to college, and I'm ready to get out of the house. And pretty much my dad and stepmom, I came as almost as an adult to their house. So they weren't going to be able to change the ways I was thinking and with some of the things I was doing. I had younger siblings in the house, so it was easier for me not to get them in trouble by giving them bad examples. They kind of was like, hey,
Yeah.
my dad was like, hey, it's time to go. This is what you want to do, So
They encouraged you.
They encouraged me to go on, and school wasn't going to be my thing,
Yeah.
So
Did you even consider college, or was it like no?
I really didn't, and I was a good athlete,
Right.
Varsity pretty much every year, but I wasn't that top elite of that,
Yeah.
I
Right.
was good, but I wasn't elite level,
Right.
And if you don't have any family support, I had younger siblings, so my dad and
That was the
stepmom didn't make
focus
them
was
up,
there.
and my mom, they weren't really going to help me, or financially at the time, as I look at it, that they financially couldn't help me.
Yeah.
Not saying they wouldn't.
It just
I
wasn't an
just they
option.
couldn't,
Yeah.
and also I wasn't the scholar student at the time to warrant their extra help.
Yeah.
So I went in the Marine Corps, and it was a great experience. I would say it was
Good
definitely
move.
a good move in my life. It really opened up a lot of doors.
So you go, you sign up, and then what? You go boot camp, and then
Yeah, I went to boot camp and did all their training and traveled around, met people from all over.
And do you get sent overseas or something like that, or do
No,
you stay
man,
in the States, or
I
how's that
stayed-
work?
I ended up staying in the States. I stayed on the West Coast.
Okay.
Pendleton my whole time there, and got married about a year after I was in the service to my high school sweetheart, Lisa, and she moved out to California with me straight out of high school. So she graduated on Friday and was in. We got married on Saturday, and she came
Oh,
to live
shit.
with me. Yes, and came to live with me in California that Monday. You know what I mean?
Oh shit, she
Yeah.
was down with the journey too.
She was ready to go. Her parents weren't ready for her to go, of course, to send their baby girl out to California to be with some Marine.
So you didn't know when you signed up and left. You're going, I have no idea where I'm going to end up
no,
at all.
No, man, I had no clue. I went boot camp.
So what was your job? Don't you get
I was
assigned
like-
like a
I
job?
was like-
Any physical altercations in the military?
Oh yeah, I wanted to do. So they give you all this list of paper, and I wanted to leave when my buddies were leaving. Well,
Yeah.
they were already enlisted before me, so they were. I was leaving on the buddy program. Man, they already enlisted 6 months earlier. So by the time
Oh, the selection is now down.
you had 200 jobs. Now you got 14 jobs. And I started thinking like I don't want to be no infantry. I didn't want to be no infantry unit. But that doesn't mean the job you do you won't go to an infantry unit. So that's another thing. It doesn't matter what real job you're in the Marine Corps. You could be in an infantry unit. You could be a cook and be in an infantry unit. You could be an admin that just types out papers, and you could be an infantry unit just out of note.
Right.
So it doesn't matter what MOS you really pick. There's probably a small handful you won't be in.
Right.
But man,
Yeah.
you don't. And there was a list, and he was like, "What do you like to do?" And I was like, "I don't know." And he was like, "Do you like to cook?" I'm like, "No, do you like to shoot things?" I'm like, "Yeah, but everybody gets to shoot stuff." He run through. He goes, "Do you drive a car? Is that how you got here?" I was like, "Yeah." He goes, "There it is." You know what I mean? I was.
You're like, I can fucking drive.
Yeah, I could drive. Yeah, there you go.
That's a thing? Perfect.
You drove here, right? You got a driver's license? Good. You'll be motor T, and you get to drive big trucks and semi trucks and little trucks and Hummers. And I'm like,
Okay.
he goes,
I can rock
"Man,
that."
There you go. You're always, and he said you're a motor T, so you're always going to be somewhere new all the time. I was like, all right, bet. This dude sold it.
Sold it on it.
Yeah, so I'm like, boom. That's what I did. I was a motor T driver, just basic freaking truck
He made
driver.
it sound way cooler than it.
Oh, it was so cool. And it really was an actual. If I would have stayed in the unit I was in, I would have been doing the more cool combat stuff.
Okay.
I went to a combat engineer battalion. We would be attached to other units, but as soon as I got there and got into the unit, they transferred me to a base motors. So like civilian style vehicles, because I was an athlete. I ran and wrestled and I boxed while I was in the Marine Corps on the West Coast and on Pendleton. I was always doing the extra stuff,
Okay.
joining all the little smoker boxing matches that I could and running races and.
Did you actually compete or just?
Yes, I did. I competed.
Oh.
I competed out there on the West Coast.
Just intramurally, like
yeah,
within.
intramurally in the units, and then like the champions would go on and fight other branches of service,
Yeah.
other bases.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
So they would bring people. It wasn't intramurally. They'd actually bring people from other bases, but it was all military
Yeah.
dudes. Yeah, that's when I really got my really first good ass whooping was in the Marine Corps.
Now, what were you doing? Was it
Boxing,
Boxing.
just boxing, and MMA was just starting off. That really was like more of an underground thing.
So is that where you started boxing? Because you had wrestled in high school.
Yeah, but I wasn't. Like I said, I wasn't really great at high school wrestling. I wasn't even.
You were just scrappy.
I was
had
scrappy
wrestled.
and I wrestled, and I was just scrappy street fighting. Pretty much, people knew me from getting in.
Did you get in?
Yeah, not like fist fights.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, for sure. Dude.
Oh,
That's
really?
That's what Marines do. They get drunk, rowdy, and they be fighting for.
Oh,
no reason.
really?
Yeah, we just fight.
Okay.
But when I was on the boxing team, and I did a couple of those boxing events and stuff, and then I took a good little butt whooping, and I was like, hey, I'm really not as good as you think it is. This kid from Detroit just beat the brakes off.
Oh, so that's when you're like, hey, maybe I can learn.
I think maybe I should do a little more training, and, you know what I mean, and get a little better skill set, or maybe think of a different. This dude just beat the crap out of me in front of.
He just
my
knew what he
wife.
was doing.
Yeah, he did.
You said in front of my wife.
in front of my wife and all my friends, and yeah,
That's a little bit different.
Yeah. My wife had to hill me back to the car.
You're
Put your
like-
dumbass in the car, and we drove off road back home. And I was like, you know what? I think I need to reevaluate this.
You looked and said, babe, did it look like he got me? She said, yeah, it looked like it. It looked like
There was no doubt in my mind. The first round, I was whooping his ass. Second round, he was sandbagging. This dude just put a beat down me. He did. Yeah. And now I look back at it. So then I get home, from the Marine Corps, and I was like, trying to see what I was going to do.
But so when you were there, I'm not trying, I want to stay there for 1 second. So did you continue while you were there the whole time? You're still training at least in boxing and
wrestling
And wrestling?
boxing, and I was a runner. I did a lot of more long distance running. I did a lot of that.
so
we
when
ran
you get out of
races.
the service, your turn, what you signed up for was 4 years?
Yep, 4
And
years.
so when that's done, there's no consideration of staying in
There
or
was. They wanted
re-enlisting?
me out. The re-enlistment was coming about, and I was getting farther in the Marine Corps career, and I was really wanting to do.
And I heard they throw some change at you if you're willing to stay.
Man, it wasn't substantial enough to make me decide that that's what I wanted to do career-wise. And also, man, you live so below like almost poverty level, and I had a wife and a kid, and we were struggling,
Yeah, yeah.
financially living out there in California, but anywhere.
Oh, they don't pay you good?
Man, they pay like garbage when I was in the 90s, 94, 90, being married with kids and the cost of living and just the cost of having it really
I
you
would
weren't
have
getting
thought,
making
yeah.
no money. No, you just don't make good money, and that's really sad to see that. But like my counterparts that were here that didn't go in the military, dudes are having really nice houses. They've been in factory life, welding or doing something that they're starting to make financial gains. I was nowhere near on that level. I was
Oh, so you felt like
meaning
you were behind the buck
way
by.
behind. We were way behind, and also we were way on the West Coast and didn't have no family other than the Marine Corps family. So, and my wife her sister at the time was battling cancer.
Ooh.
So this was my wife's sister, and her sister had two younger children. So we would come back and forth and visit as much as we really could while her sister was going through this cancer battle. And that was towards the end of my Marine Corps career. It was getting her fight was getting worse and
You
harder
guys
for
needed
her.
to be here.
So we really needed to be here, and being so poor
Right.
and not around family out there on the West Coast or anywhere, no matter where you went, you weren't going to be around family. I decided to come home.
Right.
Get out of the Marine Corps. It just wasn't for me.
So did you know when you were leaving there, did you already have some kind of a career
No, I
lined
didn't.
up, or
No,
were you
man,
like, I'm going to
no.
go fucking
And
wing
dude,
it?
I had winged it, and we came home, and luckily her parents had an empty house. The childhood home my wife grew up in. They moved to their farm and had this house open, and
So
it
wait,
happened
hold
to
on.
be
When you
open.
get out of the military, do they like? This might be a dumbass question, but do you get like unemployment, like any kind of
you
payment?
can get some type of unemployment. I really think you can get on unemployment.
But when you come out of there, you don't have a
Dude.
paycheck coming.
Dude, you don't have no more paychecks. You get out. What the beauty of it was is when I left, I came home like 60 days before my end of duty because I saved up vacation days. So I basically saved up vacation day and I took it all at the end of my career
For that reason.
for that reason. So I came home and got a head start, but I beat David Qualls home and Tony Tertoka home by at least 30 to 40 days before they even got out.
Right.
Even though we all went in the same day, I was already home. So I was looking for a job. But the beauty of it is that David's mom and dad owned a construction company. So they hired me right when I got out of the service, and I came to work. And they kind of helped me go. They helped me go to work and do work on iron buildings. But at that time, that was not my line of work. I knew that was not going to be my career because I did not like walking I-beams and stuff. And
You just needed a check at the
I
moment.
needed a job because I had a wife and a kid.
Yeah,
and
that's
she was and my
sketchy.
wife
That's
was
scary
pregnant.
work.
And my wife was pregnant, and so I was like, I had to work, and they gave an opportunity to go to work. So I actually went to work right away when I got home. But I knew that wasn't going to be a career path that I was going to choose.
Right.
So
Walking that steel, but
no, that was not me.
no. So you do that for.
Oh, dude, short time, man.
Short time.
Maybe the summer.
So you have your feelers out the whole time.
Yes, because that construction, it rained, you didn't work. If the job was done, you didn't work. So I was not equipped for that, and back then we had newspapers, man. We didn't have online ads.
classifieds.
We didn't have no Indeed.
Yeah.
You had to look through the paper
For sure. Circle the ones that look maybe.
So this guy ran.
So this is
an
what,
ad.
late 90s?
Yes, this is '98.
But we still have everything, right? Firestone, ADM, CAT.
Firestone, yes, Firestone, ADM, CAT,
Everything's open.
Zexel out there.
Yep.
Wagner's was still
Yep.
open. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
all these industries are open. So there was jobs to be had here in this community if you wanted to go to work.
Did you think
I mean,
about
there's
being a cop? Coming from the military? I didn't know if that
I
was.
thought about it because that's what Tony Tertoka did, and then David Qualls became a fireman.
And then
at
the
time,
Jim that you said
the
looked
police-
good in that suit.
he was already a sheriff's
Yeah.
department by then. At that time, I thought about being a cop, but it was harder to become a police officer then because they weren't needing police
Oh yeah,
officers.
right.
They-
You're right. It was a
'cause
thing.
I think because I know for a fact Tertoka didn't become a police officer right away. I think he went to work at security at ADM for a while before he went to Richland to even get to become a cop. They didn't have as quick opportunity to be an officer. So I thought I probably would have if it would have been nowadays. I probably would have maybe tried to go that path.
Right.
But I was into more like that factory life. I thought that, I'd go get a job at one of the factories here in town. But this dude ran an ad, man, in a paper about needing like some ironwork help or something, and it started at like $15 an hour, dude. And I was like, I look back at it, I was like, man, I only paid 15 doing what I was doing.
And that was in the
Crap.
$8 an hour days, right? 8, 9?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like, and I was getting paid 15 at the job I was already at. So I was like, well, this is nice. And I based that $15 on a 40-hour work week based on what I made in the Marine Corps. It was better than what I was in the Marine Corps. And my price of living was down. So I went and did this job, and I love that job. We went around to the factories and fixed leaks and stuff like that. So that's where it really got me going there. And then that got me in the door to ADM. So I actually became there's an opportunity to get hired on at ADM as a full-time ADM employee, and my mom was already at ADM.
And that's before they had all the subs. ADM did everything themselves, right?
A lot of things themselves, but I was going to be like operations. I was going to be part of ADM operations part, and I got opportunity to get hired on at ADM, and that's what I did. That was like my first
You was in.
real job. I was in for a long time, for like almost 16 years.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I did for 16 years, was work at ADM right when I got out of the Marine Corps.
And so at the same time, you never stopped training, right?
No, I didn't. I did not stop training, man. I started with like right when I got out of the Marine Corps, like that short couple years, like right out of the Marine Corps. I went back to doing like karate, and my neighbor guy was my best friend, man, Rich Tubble, was in this karate program. He was out practicing in his yard one day, and I was like, yo, knew the neighborhood, and I see this guy out there doing
What, when you was a kid or when you got home
I
from
was
service?
an adult.
Oh.
I was an adult. We moved into our neighborhood that we live in now. The neighbor guy was in this karate program here in town, and he's out in his backyard, like practicing kata and kicking and doing. I said, man, what's up? What's this dude? I started talking to him. He's like, I'm talking to him. He's doing all this kata stuff, and he's like, you should come check it out. You like to fight. So I went there, and it was banger. It was like sparring night. It was the most coolest thing ever, man. I got to just go in there, and we're doing back in the style of like Chuck Norris full contact karate stuff, like what Jeff DeVore was doing, and Chico was doing.
Yeah.
But what they did and what they lived, and I knew these guys.
Yeah.
From doing they had this tough man thing. I followed that, so I was trying to compete in these little tough man things, So I knew them,
Right.
and now all of a sudden I got this gym of these guys that are doing that stuff too. I was like, win. There was no MMA gym. There was no MMA, and there was no such thing as mixed martial arts back then. And
Was that even on the map yet?
It was
Still?
already on the map. People were doing it. Jason Reinhardt was from here, but he was going to school in the Quad Cities, so he didn't bring it to Decatur.
Right.
He didn't bring it to Decatur until like 2003, 2004.
Right,
so we got
right,
98 to like 2003. So for that short amount of time, that's when I was doing that. And then the day Jason opened up a gym downtown, he opened up in the old Y.
Yeah.
And I got word. It was like, hey, you should come check this out, since you like to spar and bang. And I went in there, and I knew a few people, and it's been on ever since. That was pretty much my start. Was that Jason opened up a gym, and matter of fact, he didn't even have 10 guys in the gym when I walked in there. There was like really nobody. It was just Aaron Smith and a couple other local bangers, but there was no real dudes in his gym. And
Right.
I was one of the very first ones that came in, and that pretty much from that day on, that's what I did.
And so you became to where you were teaching quite a bit.
Yes, at that time I started there, but it was kind of
So it went wrestling, boxing, karate. So that's what brought in to say when MMA hit the map, you're going, this is right up my alley.
Oh, this is everything I love. Yes, yeah. So then you could sit there, have some dude punching on you, just take them down, slam them. So there you go.
Yeah.
And then UFC started.
Yeah.
Then the Ultimate Fighter show started, and then
Yeah.
they just like.
So it was like your sport was finally famous.
Yes, and we would go to shows, and then Jason would host shows. So then you got to compete in your community, and so then that really what took off.
Yeah.
And I was working at ADM at the time, and we're making good money, and I had good insurance, and my wife had a job, so And she was very supportive of my training and all that stuff and going to fights, and it became a thing. And then people get recognition out in town, like, "Oh, you're such and such. You're Patrick. You're Dirty Red, man. Hey, I can't wait to watch you fight again."
Yeah.
So then, man, we would travel. We would go to Indiana, Iowa, Springfield.
How
We
many
would try-
fights how many times did you fight MMA?
Complete MMA over 20.
So,
And-
did you fight other styles? Have you fought other styles? Like, since you've been home, did you go fight boxing at home and
Oh yeah,
karate
actually,
at
we
home?
had a couple. Matter of fact,
Kickboxing, whatever.
I don't know whose show it was. It might have been one of Jordan or Rodney's. A couple of those. I'd done a couple of their boxing matches
Okay.
while they were here, and then that tough man thing. I did the tough man thing for a short time before MMA really got going.
The bare knuckle deal?
No, it was the boxing gloves. They had an actual tough man thing. You'd sign up and you'd box. Man, that's how I met Jeff and Chico. Was
Okay.
what they were running a tough man at the Civic Center, and I signed up for that.
All
you know?
right. All
I
right.
thought it was pretty cool way back in the early. That was back in the 90s. So, yeah, I still competed, and then we'd have boxing events. They needed somebody to box or be on the show. I would fill in and box some of these local
Yeah.
guys. No, we did that. You know, it was pretty cool. They just had a boxing event this past weekend.
Yeah.
It went pretty good.
Did you go?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time, actually.
Yeah.
You know?
That's what, freaking Aaron, dude, he's
Oh,
hilarious.
God, that guy's a clown.
He is
What
hilarious, dude.
He is a clown. He's hilarious. I think he just bit off more than he can chew.
He knew that.
He knew that. He had to have known that. I mean, come on now. But
He,
at least go out. You know, if you're gonna
he
be
came in here, right?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I had Jordan on the show.
right.
And we were talking. I was trying to
seen
get
that one.
Jordan to
I've seen
kind
that
of talk smack, and he wouldn't. He goes, "I'll get him like first round." And I was like, "Yeah, but like, get him, bro, get him." And he wouldn't. So then, as soon as he leaves, I clip the video of him saying, "I'm going to get him in the first round," and I don't know Aaron, and I shoot him the message of the video, like,
Stir the pot.
"Hey
Yeah,
man," and
yeah.
dude's like, "Hey, can I come be on that?" I go, "Yeah, for sure. Come tomorrow." And he comes and gets on it.
Yeah, I saw- I
Here's
thought
the
I
deal,
saw
though:
that.
is he says like has nothing but respect for Jordan, blah blah blah, and then he like flips the switch and starts talking shit. I'm like, "Okay, you're trying to sell some tickets. I feel
Dude,
you."
he
And then he goes, I was like, "So what are you weighing in at?" And he goes, "I'm at like 185. I'm like, "Man, what?" I'm like, "Dude, Jordan's hand is as big as this MacBook, right?
Yeah.
Like if he fucking connect," he's like, "Yeah."
Dude, what a coward he was.
I
though,
can
man.
make it-
running
that's what
and
some-
diving on the
That's
ground.
what somebody said. It looks like he was just trying to get away, diving
Dude,
away.
like in the fetal position type shit.
I
I'm
go,
like, come on,
I
man.
said,
You're
"What
a
was that
man.
about?"
Don't-
He said,
dude, "You're a man, dude. You need to
he
be
said,
out there."
he told someone he had to work on Monday. I said, "Yeah, well, he had to work on Monday before he scheduled that."
Man, that dude don't work. That guy ain't got no job. I mean, that guy's so full of crap. He can work on Monday. That guy ain't got.
They said,
man,
so it was a party that they had boxing at.
that boxing. As a matter of fact, and some of the boxing was sloppy, but it's just going to get better. That's
Yeah.
just. I
It's
mean,
cool to even
I
have
just think-
events, man.
Well, that thing is cool for the community. Actually,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty.
It's real cool.
And I know that that there's some in the works or some other places that are going to be hosting more things like this.
That's cool.
Like the Lincoln Theater is going to be
That's
is
neat.
talking about Lincoln Theater. I know that we're thinking about bringing an MMA show to Decatur. That again. And they're going to probably host it at the Lincoln Theater. I think that'd be a great,
Yeah.
awesome,
What happened to the Masonic Temple, dude? I remember
Dude,
that
know
used
for
to
a
be
fact-
so cool. Whenever it was the stadium,
I fought in the Masonic Temple. Probably the most
I
coolest.
seen you
Dude,
before.
had
I
to be-
knew you. I seen you at the
at
Masonic Temple.
At the Tap Out show, I really think that if we had the Masonic Temple in its glorious days of being maintained, and I think that was the most coolest event ever.
Coliseum style seating or
that's
whatever?
Ever had a chance to ever fight there or
That was
or
cool.
that was pretty cool.
was
And
really
that was one
cool.
of the bigger shows that I actually was on. So they brought in this freaking ringer from freaking Indiana, from Iowa, some dude from Iowa that trained out of the Quad Cities, journeyman fighter, just a real tough dude.
Yeah.
But this dude pays his bills by fighting, really, and probably hanging drywall during the week or some shit, So this dude was like a ringer. They brought him in, and me and Jason were on some beef, he knew he needed me on his show because I sell tickets and I'm a really good fighter. So he knew he needed me, but I needed him too because I wouldn't have been able to fight in my hometown if it wasn't for him.
Right.
And me and him were beefing, but he's a businessman, so
Yeah.
he understood. So he put me on his show. So he set me up with this dude that was like really good, you know. But I was really good. Man, I smoked that dude. I don't think that guy made it past 40 seconds.
He went back to drywalling on Monday, huh?
Dude, I think he probably didn't go back to drywall for a couple weeks, man. Because Todd Albert, another local guy, was the referee, and Todd Albert was watching the fight when he was supposed to be reffing the fight.
Uh-huh.
And like I drilled this dude about 17 times head off the mat, just do like a speed bag. And they didn't stop it in the cornermen, and everybody was already in the ring by the time they got me to stop punching this dude. And I really feel bad, but yeah, it was crazy. Todd was like, "Oh my god, I should have stopped that probably." I don't know. That's what I would think. I think Todd was like, I would have been watching too. That's why I'm not no referee. You know what I mean? I'd be like, "Oh my god, this guy's drilling him."
He's getting beat up. It's like,
It was
yeah,
a good show though. I ain't gonna lie. I really one of those highlight fights that was pretty dope.
I thought that I just loved going and watching at that venue was really neat.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
And I really think that if they have one at the Lincoln Theater,
It's another cool venue.
it's going to be cool. They pushed it up, push the ring up or cage if we have a cage, push it up towards the front. Put some like VIP on the
the
stage.
backside, yep.
Put some VIP
Yep,
up
yep.
on the stage, and then got tables and then made it
that'd be cool.
classier. Because man, when I fought,
Oh yeah, because you could use the mezzanine too.
yes, so when I fought in Dublin, Ireland, we was in a really cool setting, an old
Theater style.
theater style, like a really, a nice ballroom. We was like fighting in this really cool ballroom, with like the lighting and stuff, and it was really cool, and all the tables were,
Yeah, classy joint.
oh well, dude, they were wearing 3-piece suits in Ireland when I fought, and pulling in with like high-end luxury cars and stuff like that. So it was a really good event, But,
Yeah.
But if you brought that type of atmosphere,
And you can bring the talent. You just have to pay for it, and you have to.
you bring it
Promote it and you
but you know what?
sell it.
There are so many people that want to showcase their abilities in the
Yeah.
amateur ranks that you could really put
A
together
good show.
a nice show with a nice amateur feel to it, because politics got involved in MMA so
Yeah.
bad back when the UFC came to Illinois. They really ruined it for the lower rank, for guys that really didn't have
Right.
$100,000 to put down towards the show for the weekend, that they pretty much had to pay their bills after they sold the tickets to the show, instead of up front. So like, Jet DeVore had MMA shows,
Yeah.
really, really did great shows, brought good shows to Decatur. And UFC come and made it so hard for him to put on shows. Also made it hard for Jason Reinhardt to put on shows. Made it hard for Jordan and Rodney and their group to put on shows. This made it almost impossible.
It's crazy the number of people who back. Like you have half of the roster that actually will back out in the last 2
Oh,
weeks. That
dude,
is
man,
amazing to me.
Man, I've had
Like,
guys
I would be
back out.
pissed.
Man, I had guys that I used to train in my gym. I had a couple of them that trained in my gym, and the entrance song came on. They made it all the way to the entrance song, and then got like the bubble guts and like couldn't go fight. Everybody wants to be a fighter till it's time for a fight. I could train for a fight all day long, but man, the bubble gut in your body and your
But
nerves
wait.
kill you. Dude, they'll quit before even the song comes out.
Well,
That's
first of
happened.
all, I get it, but you can't be the fighter then. That's not what
Yeah.
you're not supposed to be there then. If you're in the top 10 on the card, if you're the top 10 fights, then you have to come.
Yeah, and the problem is
You got 30
that-
days, babe,
Yeah,
to
man,
cancel.
that people back out and back out and back out. That's just a story. And injuries. I mean, shoot.
Yeah, shit happens.
One of my last fights, man, I got thumped pretty good by a younger kid. I trained my butt off. He trained his butt off, but I broke my rib by a pro fighter over at his gym. We would go. Me and a group of us were fighting on the show. We went over to another gym out in Muhammad. Guy named Dan Hornbuckle. Really, man, probably one of the best fighters.
Well, you
I
were
ever
just
fought.
working out and
We were training for fights, and we went to his gym. You go to other gyms to test your skills
Yeah.
and get that harder, grindier training in. You know what I mean? You're not going to really size them up, but you're not training with your same guys in your
Yeah.
own gym. So you can turn it up. Because
Yeah.
they're going to turn it up.
Yeah.
Because it's their gym.
That's their gym.
You know what I mean? And That's what we do. I mean, that's what top level guys do. You go to other gyms or you go other places.
And they know what you're there for.
That's what they come to our gym for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's for. It's a man thing. You know,
Yeah.
iron sharpens iron, you know. Well, I went there, man, dude thumped me pretty good in training. I ended up breaking a rib. And it was about less than 10 days out from my fight. And I was like, and I'm talking about broke my rib bad enough that I didn't even go to work. I was I didn't even go to work. I called off work like the next day. And that was like a Friday. So I called off. I did it Thursday night. And then on Friday, I called off. I just didn't go to work that day. I had the weekend off. And then I can't remember if it was like Monday or Tuesday. It was a holiday or something was during that time. I think it was a holiday weekend. So I didn't have to work Monday or Tuesday. And I didn't go to work Wednesday or Thursday. Did the weigh-ins on Friday, fought on Saturday. So less than 10 days, 9 to 10 days.
So you should have, by all rights, canceled.
Dude, I should have, but
But you're
was
like, I
riding
can't be that
eagle.
guy.
Like, well, first off, I didn't want to be that guy who was the main event. Second off,
Oh,
kid
you were the
trained.
main
Yeah,
event.
so this kid trained too. And it was on posters and on news. It was on the radio. It was on.
Yeah.
Well, also, I had, I've had people back out on me in the last second, and it just really irked me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be that guy. And I let my ego and my age in my own town. I was like, I'm going to smash this dude anyways. Really,
Did you?
It's going to matter. Man, hell no. That motherfucker, he beat my ass.
Is it
They
because
got
you fucking were?
I don't think it helped. You don't think it? Hey, no, he technically on paper he would have never probably beat me at the time, but this kid put in the work.
Yeah.
And he caught me, went for a takedown as soon as he grabbed a hold of my around my chest for a takedown because he was a wrestler. We threw a couple punches and I cracked him pretty good. He threw 1, 2. We both threw it about the same time. He cracked me. I cracked him back. Cracked him again. He shot in. As soon as he grabbed for that bell, man, that rib was like, yo, remember me?
Remember me,
Yeah.
motherfucker?
And I went down and basically took all my wind out of my whole body. And I was like,
Yeah.
yep, I should have backed out. But about that time is when you say, you fuck around, find out.
Yeah.
I fuck around,
Well,
find out.
and that's it. So if you back out, you're like, well, me and we know that that's really what's wrong, but he's over here going, fucking old coward motherfucker.
That or
Or
the
it's like-
society or people, yeah.
Yeah, but you're
you know what I
going-
mean? You're making excuses, and I
And what?
did.
You're going, I shouldn't have just, should have
I
listened to my
would-
fucking body. And then,
I should have been like, you know what you was going to get when you went over there to mess with Dan Hornbuckle. You know that you was
Yeah.
going. It was me and him.
that's
Never
what you
had
do.
beef, but
You go
I
hard.
guarantee we both talk smack about each other before. I know that, and we've trained with each. I've trained with that guy 20 times.
Yeah.
If he ain't trained at his gym, I trained with him in Springfield gym. He would come to we would duke it out even.
Yeah.
He was in my circle of people when it was time to train. We do round robin. He's one of my round robins guys. You know,
Right.
so
You made each other better.
man, he made me better. I might not made him better, but I know he made me a lot better.
Right.
You know what I mean? He did.
Yeah.
He was pretty tough, and he still is tough dude.
So, when was the last time you fought? It's been some years, right?
Oh man, dude, more than 10 years easily. Yeah, it's been close to 10.
So you
It's
don't.
been, if it ain't been 10, it's been 9, probably 9 years.
So you still work out, but when did
yeah.
you stop fight training? When you stopped fighting? I know
Took a
you're
little
back
break. I
into
took
it a little
I took
bit now,
I
right?
took a little break for a while, and then
So who is it? You or one of your boys, one of your buddies, or one of your actual boys, or one of your kids? Who's got? So you got something cooked up now, don't you?
my son. Well, I had a Midwest Combat Club for a while. I opened up an MMA gym.
Okay.
A few years back, and we really got it going, and then we were.
I feel like we need
were
that here.
We only were. I was only catering to fighters, and fighters come and go. You know. I
Oh,
didn't
you
cater
weren't
to no
catering
kid.
to like
I didn't-
self-defense for?
No, there was zero. There, my gym and my people were not for self-defense. It wasn't you come and then learn. We did have guys that had interest in coming and learning.
Oh, but you were
pretty
just like
much
you
we
need
were-
seasoned fighters to get
So
better.
I brought in guys that already had a little bit of skills, and we would
Make
work
'em
on
better.
make them better. And it was a club setting. So I mean, like, hey man, we're in a club. We were
Right.
basically MMA club. So we didn't have like instruct. We worked on a couple techniques. What worked for you, and we'll practice that.
and you were
But we didn't
scheduling
have-
fights.
and we had guys going fighting. So
Yeah.
we did. We had guys that were already seasoned. I just gave people a place to train and work on their skill set, and I showed some of mine. And we had a good wrestler would come in, and we have a guy there who was a really good wrestler. So he would bring that. We'd have some Milliken kids come in from wrestling. We had strikers. We had a couple really good fighters that are still on the circuit right
Just
now.
come show, teach.
We got Brent Heathcock was
Yep.
one of my guys. San Antonio Jackson, Mark, what his last name is all of a sudden. Mark, he still fights. He works at 4-9.
Okay.
Where his cook there is, and I mean, so we have other fighters out of that little gym there. They just keep on training, and they moved on to PSF Mount Zion and other places. They pretty much, so there's another gym opened up in Mount Zion. So we shut down. Crawford's bought the building and changed it over to RTB. It was Club Fitness. So when Crawford's guys bought that gym, and when they bought it, we weren't part of their future. You know what I'm saying? They wanted that room for yoga and spin class, and I don't think bringing in a bunch of sweaty dudes punching and kicking on each other and taking each other
So is
down.
there a future for it again or no?
Man, I don't know if with them other gyms that are in town that they're taking on the MMA gyms and MMA fighting. I don't think there's a market for it or a future for it in Decatur, but it's going to take.
Your place for it is what? You would rather be one who goes as a guest and helps teach?
I am at that point when we were done there, and even when I had it going, I would much rather just go
help teach.
Help teach when I get at my age and my body. I can't take it.
Yeah.
My body cannot take that, and running a gutter business that I do that my
wear and
body,
tear.
Yes, the longevity on my body at my age, I cannot hang with these kids for that long a time.
So have you? I know. I don't know if you have done it or not. But how do you feel about teaching? I don't know. Have you taught kids? Like, I know that's one thing that like Jeff DeVore's like extremely good at is teaching grown men, but also take a child and go.
I can be a good mentor to children and teaching them how to do some of my styles, but
self-defense is
self-defense. I'm like A to B. I teach people how to throw a good punch, and stuff like that, and I teach them takedowns. But my style was more ground and smash, and also with the kids, and that it would be really hard for me to show them.
I think that's something that's missing around. That's why I asked that. You know what I mean? Something to just say, you know what? Let's teach everyone.
There's some really good, jiu-jitsu style gyms here that are really good.
Okay.
There is some really good instructors on that part here in town. I know if you're into, Taekwondo.
We have it.
Josh Sharp.
Oh yeah.
He's got a great Taekwondo program and he caters to kids.
Is it still at the mall?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still caters to kids through there. And then we got a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym out in Decatur, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu gym in Forsyth. They got a kids program, younger kids program. They're teaching the basic.
Okay, then never mind. They're doing it. They're doing it already.
Then we got PSF Mount Zion. I know they got a middle. I know they got some kids.
What is PSF Mount Zion? You've mentioned it a couple of times. It's a
Pedigo system.
Oh, okay.
Right? There's an affiliate gym. It's a Jiu-Jitsu and MMA gym in Mount Zion. And they got some really good talent out of there. That's pretty much where most of the fighters are out of.
Yeah.
Out of that gym.
Nice. Pretty nice place.
Yeah. And it's a smaller, cozier environment. Keep the overhead low.
Well, and from what I gather, the people who bought that spot over there where you had your most recent place at, the gym, Crawford.
Yeah.
They have a place they're building over there.
Yes, and I think they bought that so they can
build some clientele,
get some training up. That building itself was failing bad, leaky roof all the time, and just an older building and harder to heat, harder to cool. It just was not designed for what it is for efficiency. So they needed a new gym and clientele. What a better thing to do than buy a business that was near failing anyway,
and build a new one,
and
here you
take
go.
Their clients. And if it wasn't for the CrossFit that they have there, that building wouldn't even be in existence.
That's what was. You used to see people running around.
It's really big in the CrossFit. They have some really good CrossFit. They got a really good instructor.
The CrossFit person.
Yeah, Robin. She's pretty. She's good. I know they got other instructors, but I do know her. She grew up in the neighborhood. She grew up in our neighborhood back.
Oh, really?
In Sawyer. Yeah. She lived off of Monroe Street. So all our same age. So we all knew each other.
Okay. All right, let's get back on this for 1 minute. So you were at ADM 16 years, and that was up until you started your own thing?
No, that was up until they said, "Hey, you ain't got no job."
No shit?
They were like, "Yeah,
You just got cut out?
Yeah, they were looking to get rid of me for a while.
You specifically, or your department, or
Me
what?
personally, they
Why?
wanted to get rid of me. MMA fighting, I was getting injured and taking time off of work to MMA fight or heal from injuries, and ADM self-insured. I really think that, here they paid for an ACL reconstruction 1 year. That put me off of work for a couple months and cost them a lot of money. I broke my hand.
Oh, and you're like, I didn't say I injured it at work.
Oh,
so-
they knew I didn't. They saw me. I didn't injure it at work. I injured
But it had
it.
nothing to do with it. You still have insurance.
But
Yeah.
insurance but ADM self-insured, they pay. So it comes out of ADM's money. So here I had ACL reconstruction, and then I had a broken hand and a broken thumb and a broken nose surgery.
Oh, they're like, this dude's a fucking liability, bro.
That, and then I was also I lived the lifestyle of a fighter, so my personality was conflicting a lot of times. You say boo to me, I'm going to say boo back, and
So they
We're
were like,
going
someone go talk to this guy. And they're like, I'm not going to go fucking talk
well,
to
that,
him.
and it's just combative in conversation. You weren't gonna
Bully you.
not at zero means there wasn't going to bully me, at the time. And so got a little complacent in my job, and they found a way to get rid of me, and they got rid of me.
Did you see it coming, or when it happened, were you
Nah,
actually like, holy
dude,
shit?
They should have fired me years before this. I horseplayed a little too much sometimes,
To where you,
Well, they should have fired me. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
they were like, we would all play jokes, and I didn't want to be.
was it to the point where you thought you were unfireable, or when they fired you, you were like, I
complacent.
deserved it? Yeah.
I was complete.
Yeah,
I
complacency.
was pretty much. I was like, they ain't gonna fire
Apparently
me.
I can do whatever the fuck I want.
Yes, pretty much. And I thought wrong. They had a little change of management, and there was a conflict of interest there. The plant manager was my mom's plant manager at another plant, so there was already bad history between him and my mom. My mom was ADM. My mom was Union ADM plant. At the
Yep.
very end, and they demoted the plant manager from her plant manager. They demoted him and moved him over to our plant, and took our plant manager and gave him the job that this dude really wanted. So
Oh, there's
you know what I mean?
yeah,
So this
yeah.
dude already comes to work mad already, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Yeah.
he already comes to work, he don't like his job, and he just got demoted, and now he has to deal with the son of the person he didn't get along with at his other plant.
Perfect one to have in the
1,
sights.
2,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So,
And you made it easy.
I so did. Yeah, they gave me all enough rope. They were like, man, I horseplayed like everybody else did, and sometimes I got caught, sometimes I didn't, and they did it too.
So is it like a write-up process, or they come up and go, hey, dude, I don't know if you have a toolbox or a desk
No.
or
They,
what,
they,
but they're
they
like,
basically said, hey, go ahead and clock out, come back tomorrow and talk to HR. And I knew I was fired. That's about how it went down.
yep. And then you
Came
come
got
back
my
in the
box,
morning.
got my box of stuff. And it was a real eye-opener for me as a person and growing up. And I was complacent, and you were so used to having a paycheck, and you thought.
And then
I was
now
back-
what? You have to go home and tell your wife, like,
Oh, dude, it was miserable. It was horrible. I like my kid, I'm like, God.
I have to, I can't, I got fucking fired.
I got fired from this job, and like, what am I going to do? She's like, it's going to be all right. And she did. We made it all right. And I'm blessed to this day. It was the number one most blessing thing that ever happened to me was being fired from ADM.
Hey everyone, before we dive back into this episode, I want to take a moment to shine a spotlight on one of our amazing sponsors, Clean Cut Painting and Handyman. If you're looking to refresh your space or tackle that long-awaited project, this women-centric company is here to help. Clean Cut Painting specializes in a wide range of services, from stunning interior and exterior painting to small construction projects, room remodels, deck staining and flooring. They truly have expertise to transform your home into a beautiful sanctuary you've always dreamed of. And guess what? They have some fantastic promotions running this March. If you book any interior painting project for March or April, you'll receive an incredible 15% off. It's a perfect time to give your home a fresh look just in time for spring. If you're thinking of sprucing up the outside of your home, they've got you covered too. You can enjoy 10% off exterior painting projects under $5,000.
if you're planning on a larger project, get ready for a jaw-dropping $1,000 off anything over $5,000. So whether you're looking to enhance your home's curb appeal or make your interior pop, Clean Cut Painting and Handyman has you covered. Visit their website or give them a call today and take advantage of these amazing offers. Remember, when you choose Clean Cut, you're not just getting a service. You're supporting a company that empowers women in the industry. Now let's get back to the episode. Hey everyone, if you're on the market for custom apparel, look no further than Oakwood Screen Printing. This company specializes in all things screen printing, offering high-quality designs on everything from T-shirts and hoodies to hats and bags. Whether you're promoting your business, celebrating a special event, or just want to express your unique style, Oakwood Screen Printing has you covered. What sets them apart is their attention to detail and commitment to customer satisfaction. They use top-notch materials and the latest printing techniques to ensure your design looks vibrant and lasts for years to come. So if you want to make a statement with your apparel, reach out to Oakwood Screen Printing today. You won't be disappointed. If you use promo code BB217, that's right, BB for Beyond Business 217 at checkout, you will receive an additional 15% off online or in store. So that means ditch the custom ink link order, no matter where you're ordering from, and order your product online or in store from Oakwood Screen Printing using code BB217 for 15% off. Check out oakwoodscreenprinting.com for your next apparel order. Hey, if you're in the market for commercial properties in Central Illinois, look no further than Vuig Commercial Real Estate. With a dedicated team led by Tim Vuig and Cole Babcock, they'll bring unparalleled expertise and deep understanding of the local market to meet your commercial real estate needs. Whether you're looking to buy, sell, lease, or invest, Tim and Cole are committed to providing a personalized service and guidance every step of the way. Their passion for helping clients navigate the complexities of commercial real estate sets them apart in the industry. So if you're ready to take your business to the next level or find that perfect commercial space, reach out to Vuig Commercial Real Estate. You can find them on all social media platforms at VuigCommercialRealEstate.com or give them a call at 450-8500. Trust me, you'll be in great hands.
Hands down. Guarantee it.
Yeah.
Well, because, man, life changed.
Of course not. At the moment, you felt like a fucking piece of shit.
There's things that happen in your life that you like. It made me. Let's say, made me grow up, made me mature, but also made me hungrier.
Made you evaluate yourself.
So then I'm like, hey, boom, go get her. And then it got to be where you were, like I said, you got complacent in like how you went through your life and that job. You felt like you were entitled on certain things, but you also didn't grow as a person either. And right. I didn't grow.
You just checked in, checked out, clocked your check,
and then instead of even applying myself.
So was a paycheck. Then you went and did what you liked, which is train, go be with the family, yes, go back, get your check.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they made it real easy. You know
what
I mean?
Right.
Then I had to have a little humbling experience, you know what I'm saying?
So what'd you do after? Okay, so you get done with that. What was the next job? Did you chase a job?
I went, man, it was so cool. I had 401k, so I was financially okay for that summertime.
Okay.
We remodeled my house, did stuff that I wouldn't normally
You got the toolbox out?
So we redid all the house, did stuff that I knew we would never be able to do again, new furnace, we totally redid the whole house. Made it more efficient, made it a little nicer, and then I went and looked for a job. My wife had a job already, and she was finding better jobs, and so we weren't hurting.
You were a little happier?
We were way happier, and then we didn't have no bills because we paid them all off. So you could take a lesser paying job, but it was so much easier. I got on with the labor local 159 because I was like, hey, I need a job. So I went there.
Yeah.
And I was applying for the city, but the city wasn't hiring yet, a city of Decatur.
Uh-huh.
So, my wife's cousin was ahead of it at the time. So they were like, hey, come to the city when they hire. We're going to get you in there. So I went to work at the laborers. Loved it. If that job paid more and was more consistent, I'd still be doing that job,
right.
The laborer's job, because everybody was a freaking alpha male there. I didn't have to hang out with clowns and goons and whiny asses. And if you worked hard, it didn't care who you was. If you worked hard, you had a job and you would be at work. If you were lazy, you knew who the lazy people were, and they were pretty much shunned over here to the lazy side of doing lazy things. But if you was a hard worker and you showed up when you're supposed to and do what you're supposed to, sky's the limits there for people. You know
That's
what I mean?
great.
If you was a worker, you're never going to be out of work at the laborers. You know what I'm saying? It really is. You know,
It's great.
And I took every job. I didn't care if it was in Paris, Illinois. I didn't care where. Oh, send me wherever. You know. But then when they found you a good worker, they wouldn't let you go. You might have thought you was going there for 2 days, man. Next thing you know, you're there 3 months because they're like, nah, I'm keeping this one.
Right.
I'm gonna keep this guy.
Right.
You know.
Right.
So I got on with the labor local, but with the raining and stuff like that, the money was like really wasn't balancing out. But that wasn't a big deal. Opportunity come to get on with the city of Decatur like right away. So I was only at the laborers for less than a year, right out of losing my job at ADM, and then I got on with the city of Decatur for a few months. It was the freaking worst job I ever had in my life. So, you know, hated that job.
Yeah.
I hated that. That's just
So
a depressing place for me.
it was.
Oh, man.
It just wasn't what you thought.
Man, too political. It would
Oh,
they would
yeah.
have
Go
5
figure.
people standing around watching one person work. You know what I'm saying?
I don't even wanna go
And
there.
then you the cousin with this one. You're friends with you. You're the sister of this person that's in command. And
Oh, fuck,
and
yeah.
and at the time, my wife's cousin was my boss. Right when I got hired on there, he was my boss. Well, he freaking dies of a heart attack. You know, a short time after I was there. So now he ain't my boss no more. This clown that they had that been there forever. Me and him already didn't like each other before I got hired on. Now he's my boss. You know what I'm saying? So, and you really didn't get paid great at the city. There's really not. I was at the street.
So where
department
did the
director.
gig come where you're driving all over?
Oh yeah,
doing
dude.
these houses?
So then I left the city, and went back to one of my hookups, one of my training partners, Frank Sloan, through MMA. I met his cousin. His cousin's from right here in Decatur. And his cousin lived here, and Frank worked for his cousin. And when I was remodeling my home, when I was at the laborers,
Yeah.
I hired Frank and his cousin to do all this remodel at my house. Because I knew Frank from training with him over in Springfield. He's my actual training partner for years.
Yeah.
You know, just a good friend. But I hired him and his cousin to do all this work at my house. And that's how I got to meet his cousin. His cousin had this sweet gig where he went around and did property preservation and like secured properties and remodeled properties and mowed lawns. Pretty much was like a handyman service for all these foreclosed homes.
Yeah.
And he hooked, when I left the city of Decatur, he hooked me up with this job of like running around. And man, I'd be in Chicago, Rockford, Indiana.
Yeah, you were
Ohio, Iowa.
everywhere.
It was everywhere. And I did that for clear up till COVID shut it down. I'd still be doing that job right now.
You were busy. You were doing well,
So
right?
And I look back at I was doing good for a one-man show, and I
Yeah.
had one little helper, you know, that I'd hire guys that had felonies or straight out of high school, had no real career path, you know, or.
But that was your first stab at. I mean, that was close to self-employment.
Oh, it was, dude. I picked when I decided when I wanted to go to work, when I didn't want to go, what job I wanted to do.
When gas went up, it sucked. When gas was cheap, it was better.
That was that, and
If someone stole your tools, you got pissed.
dude, and I had tools. You know what I mean? I had to have my tools stolen. You know, and part of living on the road and getting bit by freaking bed bugs. You stay
Yeah,
in freaking dive
shitty
hotels.
yeah. All that
eat
matters.
crappy food and wake up there'd be 6 inches of snow on the ground. You're like, what? You know,
Save
just
a
had to get
buck.
done. And it got to be that job was good. It actually made for a good living for my family. But I was gone
All the time.
all the time. And I look back at it, was that a good thing or a bad thing? It's like the last couple of years of like, you know, my kids' adolescence, you know, what did I miss? That, you know, why they were juniors and seniors or senior in high school and the other
Yeah.
one was a freshman in high school. Then, you know, the time I spent away, what did I miss during those
Yeah.
years of their lives, you know? Because I was really on the road 8 days, 5 days, 8 days. I wouldn't come home for 4 or 5 days or.
On the flip side of that, dude, you probably learned a whole lot that you're utilizing right now,
Oh,
being successful.
Oh, that did help.
I mean,
That
you
helped a lot.
learned time, material management, Do you know what I
for sure.
mean?
I learned
People
that.
management,
Oh, for sure.
everything. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that-
hard way of just going, I'm going to do it. Then you get there and go, oh, shit.
You have to get it done, and
Yes.
that was the thing is if you didn't do the work, you didn't get paid. So you could be in South Dakota, do all this work, and if it wasn't up to subpar, you'd have to go back to South
Yeah.
Dakota or go back to Iowa,
Yeah.
and waiting on paychecks, and then be like, so that part of it was
No, and that's it. That's the person in charge's hat of going, you have employees of every trade that go, look, that's all I got. And they can walk away and get their paycheck.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's a punch list.
Yes.
And if it's not fucking checked off, like you just said, hey, we don't care what your excuse is.
I know, and like I said, COVID ruined it, man. I'll tell you that, Ro. That really ruined that industry of work.
How is that though? Because you were
Because
working, you were a 1 or 2 man show. You could clearly work.
Because they stopped doing foreclosures.
Oh,
and
yeah, they
did
let everyone-
forbearance. They let people stay in their houses, and then they did a forbearance on mortgages. So let's say you weren't in foreclosure yet, but you couldn't pay your house bill, so you would forbearance your house for a year or 2 years.
Oh, so you're saying the whole process froze?
Froze it completely.
I got you.
Because there was no foreclosures.
Yeah.
Then houses that
So
would
you
be
caught
coming
up
for
and then it was
closing,
done.
Once you caught up to how much work was already out there, it was done.
Got it.
So we're talking about the dude had 27 contractors, then he had 12, then he had 4, then he had 2. And then he couldn't sustain, he didn't even have enough work coming in to even sustain 2. So the company's done. So I had to think about something else to do. And the good thing is this guy was a good thinker and a businessman and was always having his hands in something else, always starting different things. He was doing like building an apartment complex in Kansas City as a general. Well, the thing needed gutters. Well, he put a bid in for gutters, and this company said, hey, we're going to do it for $25,000. He was like, why would I pay y'all $25,000 to do this apartment complex when I can buy a gutter thing and just have my guys I pay hourly just to do it? So he bought this gutter machine and gutter business to do the gutters on these apartment complexes because they were going to build more than one. So he was thinking ahead. Then he drug up off that job. He had this gutter machine. The job ended or.
Oh, he's like, I'm not a gutter company. I just wanted to put gutters on this.
On this, he says, so I'm going to go start a gutter company in Lake of the Ozarks. Well, he's not really from Lake of the Ozarks, so, the people he knows there is just the people he's met in the past couple of years. Man, to start a grassroots business in a small town is hard to do. Really is hard to do if you're not from there.
Yeah.
You are limited.
You better have a hell of a marketing department.
Yes, you better know. So, for me, I know everybody from MMA fighting, wrestling. My kids
You're
My
here,
kids
born
wrestling.
and raised.
I was born and raised here. If I didn't go to school with you, I went to school with your kids.
Wait,
or
that's
your
where you got
cousin.
that gutter machine?
So I bought it from Lake of the Ozarks from my buddy that I used to work for doing that bank foreclosure, and I brought it back here and started the gutter business here. And the reason I started it here was there were some storms come through, so all the local gutter businesses were really busy too.
Yeah.
And I would see out of town business gutter companies. I'm thinking, you's from Springfield and Bloomington, and you're here working. I can push you out of town. You ain't, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go back to Springfield. And,
Go back to
and work-
Springfield,
and,
back to
I'll, and I'll
Bloomington.
stay out of Springfield.
And I'll stay and I'll just what you're charging. We'll learn how to do it. So we started off low and started learning the process of doing it through a lot of trial and error. There was a lot of uh-ohs and mistakes that they were like, dang, I'd have to go back and fix, or something.
Yeah.
So dude, if it wasn't for YouTube, we would
Yeah.
didn't know how to even turn the machine on. I had
No
to
shit.
YouTube it. Hell, for 6 months I ran the machine so out of whack and out of true that. Man, I don't even know how I even put a gutter up, man. The thing would be all
I'll tell you
twisted.
what, I was going to say, whenever it starts costing you to learn, that's what makes you
Dude,
learn.
That's why I tell you, gray hair, man.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what, the price
yeah.
is, I tell people this all the time, look, the price of stupidity is the most expensive
Man,
teacher right there.
yeah.
Man. 'Cause the more you mess up and it costs you money, you'll learn faster. And we did, and we learned, and we got better and better and better at it.
Right.
And then knowing people and showing up when you're supposed to show up, do what you're supposed to, put out a good product,
Yeah.
do a good job, be respectful on the job site. It doesn't take long. And I tell people also this, man, if you do a great job, you're going to tell 5 friends at least. You do a bad job, you're going to tell 50. You're going to tell 50 people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Those 50 people out of that, a couple of them is going to tell some people, like, I heard from such and such that they do a horrible job. It don't negative publicity will destroy you.
Yeah, and I
You
sell.
know?
That's the same thing. I'm buddies with Steve Crutchfield.
Yes.
Same thing. I tell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, you guys deal with to me, because 2% of the people I deal with are residential people. That's the hardest people, you know, because you're fucking with their house. That's where they're at. They live there.
And the problem with Crutchfield, like I said, he got that storm come through, so they're doing
Yeah.
10 times, 15 times
Yeah.
the amount of work. Well, you're gonna have the more you do, the more mess ups you
Yes.
have, and the more negative you got,
Yeah.
the more people you come in
Yeah.
contact, and there's also customers out there that you can't make happy, no matter what.
Right.
You know, so you're gonna have those.
And I think the important part is when someone call you, the whole customer is always right thing is legit.
It happens.
You have to go.
Man, I had a
Hey, if you
lady
say it's
that I-
fucking up, I'm going to come see, and you're probably
Dude,
right.
I'm gonna tell you,
You know?
right now, I've had to go fix one out in Forsyth, and it was, Crutchfield even they went and even bid the job to get the roof, and they already even, man, they even put the sign in this lady's yard. The lady was like, "Yeah, go ahead." They put a sign in the yard, and then they went with somebody completely different, like totally wasted their time. You know what I'm saying? Their time, because I mean, I talked to Steven, you know, about
Yeah.
and I'm like, wasted their time. And then I go and do the gutters that they hired some other roof, and it was just a nightmare. It was like dealing with this lady 5 weeks, 3 weeks, and
Yeah.
then sneak this, and then
Some
I'm
people
like,
are
did she-
different.
did
Some
she get on
people are extra
Facebook and sneak
difficult,
this? It
man.
happens, but
Yeah.
it was a bad time,
Yeah.
and I
But I
think
also
that-
think a lot of people, like you just said, there's so many shady contractors.
dude, that's another thing. So that's another.
So
thing
if you
I fuss
get
on.
fucked over, then from then on, whoever
Yes.
you deal with is going to be getting took through
And
the
that
ringer.
happens. That's another thing about this storm that came through. I wanted to try and keep out of towners.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when I see people come in and they'll hire this company here, they're out of Rockford, and they'll do everything. Well, they're not the ones answering the phones when there's a problem, and they leave you they do a crappy job.
It rains again and your
Yeah.
shit's leaking.
You know, in 5 years, you get roof leaking again, and they're not
The
going to be around
company's
to fix
done.
it.
Right.
Also, the money doesn't stay local. All that money went north. It didn't come here and help our
Yeah,
community out.
yeah.
So when you got a kid's baseball team, you need a sponsor and this and that, and your kid plays ball, and you hired an out of towner, then you know what?
Hit them
Too
up.
bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kick rocks.
Keep
you
it
know?
around.
You know what I mean? If your kids play sports and they're sponsored by a local team, then you should try and hire local.
Yeah.
The best you can. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Go the best you can. Hire local, and that's the best. Everybody eats.
We even on the commercial side, in like Champaign and Springfield, we'll deal with contractors that are like, hey, because the people we compete against are from Chicago area, and they'll be like, hey man, they got you beat by X amount. Can you work with us? And it's like, no, hire them. And it's like, wait, what? Like, yeah, because it's going to end up, they're going to change, they're going to add, you're not going to be able to get them back, and you know this already. So go ahead and hire them if they're 10,000 cheaper. And it's like, fuck, no, we're not going to. Right? Like, quit
Well, I
playing.
tell you,
Like,
let's
you
go-
already know as well as I do that if you.
I say that too, and man. You think it's expensive to hire local? Hire a shitty contractor and tell me how expensive it is.
Yeah.
And there is so many out there, and you think you're getting it cheaper. You don't. Get references. Make sure they got all their credentials. If they did your friend's house, they did a good job, then you should take that value of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, if you're gonna save you $50, at least, or give the opportunity to say, hey man, this guy beat you by this. You know, what is yours different? You know,
Right.
you're using crappier material. You're not having a warranty. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Right.
So getting there in a timely manner.
Well, and that's
you
it.
know,
Is
the quality of
everyone
product.
can say there's a warranty on this, but actually, dude, we have the benefit now of where I can pull your Facebook page up and see how long has this existed. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did this just start? Does he have 4 friends or does he have 500? Does he?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
you can, we have the ability to actually check and see if people are legit. And
for
fly by
sure.
nights. There's been enough. Hell, there's been fucking 5 hailstorms in the last 3 years, so everyone should know by now.
Oh yeah.
Don't go for it. You know what I mean? Your insurance will pay for it.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Don't go.
And that's,
with,
I mean, we've had it.
don't
and
go
I'm
with
like,
the clowns.
I'm gonna say, hey, I'm hoping that people don't get hit with a major hailstorm this year. I sure don't. You know what I mean?
But if they happen
If
to,
they happen to, then we're gonna be here for
yeah.
you. And we're here just like the other local companies are here. Just hire local, hire local. That's all there is to it.
Yeah.
Hire local, get references. Ask your friends. Who's your friends use?
Do you guys stay pretty busy?
Man, we're busier than we're busy. We stayed busy like we were sewer swamped last year, and we're trying to play catch up. The season ended pretty abrupt. We had like not the greatest weather at the very end of the season that kind of threw it off, and then of course winter has not been the nicest to us this year. We had a couple weeks here and a couple weeks, maybe since January 1st till now, we've had 2 good weeks of decent weather that's favorable.
You gonna be able to stay your ass off the ladder? Or are you gonna?
Man, I'm not there yet. I have to physically get up there still. I think, as the years go by, and
I
the
feel like
clientele
you
get-
didn't
clientele-
though. I seen you last time. You had the manpower. You
I
had
still do. I still have to get up there, and it's still
just skill level wise. You have to.
No,
Or
manpower wise, because it really does take. It does take. It takes quite a bit to get some of these jobs done.
Okay.
If you got a 60-foot gutter, it takes more than 2 people sometimes
Okay.
to do it.
Yeah.
Safely and nicely, and get people are paying for it. You don't want it all banged up.
Yeah.
banged
No, and
up,
I don't know the process, man.
So it takes manpower to get it up there and help the guys get the gutters down, and then also being on the job because my name's on it.
Yeah.
Not the
I
guys
feel
that
you.
work for me.
Yeah.
It's me. You
Yeah.
know, that's the thing too. It could be them in
Well, and
in
I-
a few years it's going to be them.
Well,
But
and I tell
right
you
now,
what is
it's me.
important about you being there is there's a really good chance that a lot of times when someone's set up in front of a house, at some point someone's either going to come home intentionally for lunch or come out to check it out.
Yep.
And somebody working is going to have to stop
That's another thing.
to have a conversation. It's
And when
really
I-
nice
when
if
I
they can
post-
carry on and you can have that conversation.
And also, my phone rings for work, or you need somebody to go get lunch,
Yeah,
or we need to go get, a piece of this or that. It's easier for me to slip away and go do that.
And keep
Also,
shit moving.
Or somebody called me in the middle of it and be like, "Hey, I saw you guys working over here. I'm coming right. I'm like, I'll come
Right now.
Are you ready? Because you're thinking about gutters right now. I'm trying to come right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep, I can
and when
come
people
shoot
say,
your-
"Oh, you go over," hey, I won't be home. I do not like going to customers' houses that aren't home because
Right, let's talk.
I want to talk to you
Right.
about what you got going on, and I'll give you my ideas. And here's my product. This is what we sell. We don't just sell gutters. We sell a friendship. We sell
Right.
future jobs.
Right.
You know what I mean? You're going to tell few people. If I do a crappy job and not personable, you'll be like, well, I don't know nothing about it. Their gutters look okay.
Right.
No.
Yeah.
I want them
Yeah,
to
the
know
guy
me.
who comes and knocks on my door to sell me gutters, if I buy him, I will never see him again.
Yes. Hey, there's a hailstorm.
Hey, what happened? What happened to the guy who sold me the gutters?
Yeah, I want
They're
I
like,
want to make
huh?
sure we are talking. We're on the same page of what you're getting. This is what product you're getting. Says the side of other people. I like to be there.
Yeah.
I do. I like to be there
Yeah.
and meet the homeowner. And like I said, when we're working on the job, it's easy for me to peel away and come
For
back
sure.
because I have really competent. My sons work for me, so I'm
I
blessed
like
like
it.
that. They're learning skill sets and and getting better. And as they mature, they'll be able to take on more of the business side of it if they need to. And eventually that's the way it's going to be.
Oh, you're going to
It's like
see.
that.
You're
It's gonna happen,
going to
though.
see, and then you're going to be like, man, I just want to get back on the job because it's going to be to the point where you're going, dude, I'm sitting in front of this damn computer and out measuring and shaking hands so much that
And I do want to get to that because I would like that.
Yeah,
I
you
think
will.
it may be for my body
yeah.
because hanging gutters is very physical.
Oh yeah.
And
That's why
that's why I go to the gym. Man, there's no way I could do this job if I didn't go to the gym. Close to 50 years old.
You got to stay
Stay healthy even during the off season. So that's what I hit the gym, man. That's about all I can do.
right.
Eat healthier.
Well, you're that's good. You're doing good. It sounds like that's it. If your boys stay on track, then things will keep. If you keep them on track, they'll stay on track. Your shit will go good, dude.
Yeah.
Gutters, babe. if history or if the recent history is any sign of anything, hailstorms is a new thing. Because
Yeah, well, I mean,
what
it
the
is.
fuck? I don't remember them ever
That-
when we were kids, and now we get them like
Well, now
annually.
dude, it affects us now.
Oh, is that
You
what
gotta
it
think
is?
and it's also social media. You're like, oh man, another one. It affects you.
yeah,
If it
yeah,
affects
yeah.
you, then
You know
you're
what?
gonna
I
remember
just
it.
started finding out because I do hail inspections with my drone. Now I'm like, holy
so
shit, I get money.
because it affects you. But like snowstorms, when you were a kid, we had them. It affected us because we were outside playing. and
Hell
had a
yeah,
blast.
yeah.
And then we didn't have for a long time, and now it's happening
Now you get a
again.
snowplow. It's like,
We're
hey,
like, oh man, now but I mean, sure, there's a lot of snow nowadays. I
Yeah.
mean, it affects you now. So,
it's
and things like that hailstorm, I really don't want nobody to get hit with them, but they do. We're around. We're local. We're veteran owned. We're veteran operated. My son was a Marine too, so I'm a Marine. My son's a Marine, so we're going to get it done. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like I said,
Good.
the season ended so with the weather being the way it was, and winter wasn't as nice to us. Like last year, man, we almost didn't stop. There might have been a 2-week, 3-week period that we might not have hung gutters, but we pretty much hung gutters because it was above 35, 40 degrees almost all winter long. There's a couple days here and there, but man, it was nicer weather last year.
it probably was
This year-
okay to get a little bit of a breather from.
So then now it's like,
Now you're ready.
no, man, we're not even finished from last year. We've got some jobs from last year. As we're finishing some of those, getting them done, we're getting more and more. We're getting more than we're finishing. So that's a blessing. That's
Yeah.
a good thing. Now, a couple of years ago, we was only sitting on maybe 2 or 3 jobs before really the weather got nice, and then we had to go
Now
out
you're
and hustle.
scheduling out.
Now we're already scheduled out. So that's the beauty of it,
Yeah.
When do you get bigger? Do you want to take that risk of not having work if it didn't have a hailstorm, man? We could push our jobs. We'd be out of work in a couple weeks. If
Yeah.
we did everything we had scheduled out, then what do you do?
Right, then you'd be the one going to Springfield going,
They're
hey.
traveling to Springfield and getting work, and traveling to Taylorville getting work.
Yeah, last
or-
thing you want
or
to do is
door
bring
knocking.
on guys and can't put them to
And
work.
then, exactly,
Yeah.
and then not having to go knock on doors, and then to try and beat other locals out, you lower your price and you lower your quality of material to make it more.
And then
to
it
make
defeats the
sustainable-
purpose of
defeats
being the
purpose.
best. Yeah.
And I don't want to do that. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that.
Yeah, you might be right in a sweet spot right now.
We're just.
Yeah.
And we work with the other gutter. That's another thing. The beauty of being in the industry we are, we actually have some other good gutter companies in this area. We got a young group of guys that got a gutter company. We got an older veteran got a
Good competition
veteran
is
in the
healthy,
business.
man.
Not, maybe not so much a veteran, but veteran in the business. They have their nick. They have their nick, but also we're all in the same area, and we're actually making each other better by competing against each
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
But also is if, hey, I ran out of coil, you got some. Yes.
Yeah.
Here you go.
Yeah.
So we have a good working relationship with
It's
each
beautiful.
other. You'd be like, hey man, you got any of this elbows and stuff? I'm like, dude, I'll set it out where you're gonna be. I'll swing by. I'm at such and such. All right, bet. Get me next time. So that's the beauty of it too. That
Yeah.
we're not trying to cut each other's throats and
Right.
smash each other and bash.
You
each
guys all
other
know each other's does good work.
because, and they're doing quality work.
Yep.
We're doing quality work.
Yeah.
We're keeping out of the outsiders and the storm chasers and the yahoos that come and go.
Yeah.
They come through the area. We're keeping up the quality of jobs we're doing in the area.
Yeah.
And still making a living at it, And it's
Oh,
good
yeah.
to work with each other. I'm telling you, it does help. It does make it more peaceful,
Is this it now that you've worked for others and collected a check and got to have MMA as like a hobby? And you probably made some money fighting, I would say.
No, I probably lost a lot of money versus making a lot of money
Yeah.
because
It's an expensive hobby.
It's an expensive hobby and injuries and travel.
Yeah,
and, And there really was no money and there's really no money in MMA.
Yeah.
You could even be at some of the higher level guys, and they
Well, it's just like
never-
any sport, right?
Man,
the only way
there's
you're going to
got-
do it is if you're one of the very, very percentile that are a pro.
that, and you're just not longevity, man.
Yeah.
I don't see. I mean, I know UFC veterans that are living above garages and stuff like that, or
Right.
living with their parents still.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, dude, you're in your 40s and you got to live with your parents, and
And they're fucked up.
your body's broken up. You never, you know.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's a hobby.
Yeah.
It should not be a career move.
Right.
You know, that
Yeah.
was it for me. And as far as staying, I must try to be a business owner forever. If it isn't this, I will move into
So,
something else.
so you like, this is a great move.
It's a great move, and I get to meet people and be out, make my own schedule. And you know, like I said, my wife works. You know.
So what flipped the switch from you being the aggressive person? You described yourself as being almost confrontational in your day to day.
Because they're freaking.
To now
humbled.
you're friendly.
Man, I'm telling
You got humbled.
dude, I got fired from that job
That
that
humbled
I
you.
was complacent in for. Dude, that was going to be my career. I was going to retire from ADM. That's why
You
I
just
had
collect.
and just be one of those through the turnstile and put in my time and do. I think when I was at ADM, that probably helped me out work wise. Is I always wanted to be better than anybody else that did my job. So there was nobody I would let them outdo. If you did this much work, I did just more than you. And it was at every time, every day. You power washed for 4 hours, I would power wash for 6 hours. You know what I mean? I just
Yeah.
would always do more than you because I did not.
I just
don't-
needed to.
I had, and that's my personality. I just want to be better than you.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean?
right,
At that
right.
job, you know, there was other jobs they would move me into, and I wouldn't be as good. And I was like, God, I'm building it up, and I would try and learn more jobs. I'm like, go ahead and throw me over there, and I'd watch stuff. I'd help people, and that's another thing too is I would help people on You needed to go move these 400-pound barrels. Physically, I was the most physically fit person there. I'm like, well, guess who's going to help you? I'm going to help you.
Right.
Even though it wasn't my job, I'm still going to help you. And I always did that, you know.
Right.
It was a team thing, you know. And when I got fired from that job, that's when I was like, if I would have been a nicer person, if I would
Really?
have been if I would have been nicer and less confrontational, I'd probably still be there, you know. And then that turned into being my own boss. You
I didn't know if it
I
was you didn't even realize that you were not happy. You know what I
I
mean?
was
If
happy
it's
at
now you're kind of happier, so it's
Well, I'm
easier to be
happier that and
nicer.
I lived that lifestyle of fighters. I was a fighter, so
You had a
I
chip
lived
on-
it. So I lived that lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what I did. I was always confrontational, and now when you became self-employed, I look back and I'm like, man, if I'd have been nicer.
Yeah.
And now I'm like,
You're like, I'm a self-employed grandpa, bro.
so that too, and also is that I don't, you know. He ain't beating me up. I'll tell you that right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
At my age, I'm like, I still got that type of chip on my shoulder, but I don't need to. And I
Right.
figured it out. You know, it's funny is like I go back at it, way back in the early fighting days, like very early. I had an instructor, two of them, great dudes. One guy passed away. His name Vincent Joyner. He's a black belt karate guy right here in Decatur. The old school meet in the park, I challenge your dojo days of like these dudes was doing kung fu and karate
Okay.
in the parks in the 70s and early 80s.
Okay.
You know, back when all that was real popular, kung fu movies. Vincent Joyner, and they had a whole bunch of guys, Mr. Ambrose, and it was the who's who of Decatur karate fight scene back in them days, you know. The Earl Taylors and all these.
That's why I couldn't think
Earl
of
Taylors
it. Yeah,
and
yeah,
these guys and you know
yeah.
that type of guys back in the day. But they had a karate gym, and I would go. That's the gym I went to. From my neighbor took me to their gym and did Shudokan style karate, and I got to meet like Leland Labrador and guys. They're all in the community were really good, and they're big guys, and we would spar, and I would freaking try and beat them nonstop, and it got to a point where they wouldn't spar me no more. And I was like getting a bigger chip on my shoulder, thinking I'm like, dude, they don't even want to spar me. You know, I'm that good. You know, I'm that cold. That wasn't really it. What it really was they were going to have to hurt me to stop me, and they didn't want to hurt me. And that really did not sink in until I got further in my MMA career and started training guys and having younger guys coming up that were trying to sow their oats.
And we're trying to hurt you, or you
No,
were
we're
like,
not trying to. They wouldn't tap. They wouldn't give up, which is a good thing that you don't want to give up. But they didn't even get in their head. They didn't
They weren't
matured enough.
understanding.
They weren't understanding that I'm gonna have to hurt you to make you stop. And it sunk in
That what they were doing.
what they were doing to me when I didn't know that.
Because
at the
you would
time.
have to go, you know what? I can't spar this kid anymore because I'm going to
would.
have to hurt him.
And I can't.
And
spar
you're
this young
going,
man.
this happened to me, dude.
And I at the time I was taking it was like they didn't want to. They don't want me testing them. You know, I was like, oh, and that carries through everything in life. That's even in life, as in going on to even your job. Here I was getting to a point where, you know, in jobs that you were doing, you know, that I carried that mentality into life, and until it all sunk in, it really sunk in once I got fired. And then when I started doing MMA training guys, you know, and less fighting myself and doing more of the taking on the coaching role is when it all clicked. I'm like, yo, because I had some young men. I'm like, you need to calm down. I got you. Oh, you need to get me. I'm like, okay, you know. I mean, I'm like, you better tap. And then I was like, I'm gonna end up breaking this kid's arm. I'm gonna end up choking
and
this
then
kid out.
you had a replay run
and I was
through.
like,
Wait a minute.
wait a minute here. You know, even like Jet DeVore, we'd be sparring with him. But he'd at the time when I was coming up, he would have to hurt me to stop me.
Right.
Not that he couldn't stop me, but he'd have to hurt me to do it. Well, that doesn't benefit him.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
It doesn't benefit me.
Right.
You can't go hurting your damn
Right.
training
It's not
partners.
the point. Right.
But I wasn't at that point in my life until,
Took that much.
dude, it took some time.
Yeah.
But it took being age and being let go from my job.
All of life,
you know,
dude.
just life. And when that sunk in, that's when I started realizing, and then it made me a better business person.
For
too.
sure.
You know, I'd be like,
Yeah.
and I tell people to say, just because I can doesn't mean I should. So you go out into the bar scene, I used to be like, hey, I made it hard for you to walk away from fights. Because it wasn't being a bully. You was being a bully. You was being a clown. You wanted to fight. I was just being like the huckleberry of your fight. You know what I mean? I was like,
Yeah.
I'll be your huckleberry. I don't need to be that guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now.
Right.
Before, I would.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You wanted to fight a minute ago.
I wanted to fight. Oh, you want
yeah.
to fight?
Well,
None of these people want to fight. I want to fight you.
yeah.
Let's go. You know, I did that.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, I look back at it like, what if there's somebody, and I try telling my sons, and I try telling other people, that even these young guys that are in the MMA gym, what if they run into a version of you?
Yeah.
In 10 years, you're out, and you run into you now in the bar.
Yeah.
There's people out there that you don't even know are like that.
Yeah.
You know, they will just
Yeah.
beat you with your own arm, and
Yeah.
you know, and make you look like a fool. You know, so that's another thing. You're like, hey, just because you can doesn't mean you should, and it's way easier to walk away. And people have guns nowadays, and then you could be sued for this and that.
Yeah.
I'm just saying this, don't.
Some people just, their version of fun is to fight.
And mine was for a while.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it cost me
Yeah.
financially.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, and friendships that I probably could never get back. That
Sure.
You know, luckily I can, a lot of them, but, you know, because men are men.
Right.
Men shouldn't hold grudges, really. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know?
I think.
That's another humbling thing. And then one time I got jumped by quite a few people in town. Like you want to say about street fighting, I got jumped by a group of brothers and cousins. And,
Oh.
dude, it was a knockdown, drag out. I ain't gonna lie. And I did really good. They did really bad. But I was banged up so bad, it was probably the worst my body have ever felt.
Oh, they
And
did
it
what
could-
they came to do.
They did. They all and one of my buddies was with me, and he was an innocent bystander, and he got hurt. You know, he had to
Yeah.
get some staples. I had to get some staples. I got stabbed by a knife, so it was like one of those things where like very humbling to you. So I took a little good street fight butt whooping that
Yeah.
I could have easily walked away from and not even been involved, but I chose not to.
Yeah.
And after it all went down, that was a turning point in my life of like, I'm not even fighting out unless I physically have to ever again, instead of,
Because you never know where it can go.
yes. And it went bad that night. And it, man, you know,
Yeah.
it turned out that everybody went home and no one's permanently injured or nothing like that, but it could have went
It was
bad.
close.
Could have went real bad. And
Yeah.
that's when I realized, like, yo, this is when I'm going to turn off this because I can and I should, you know. I'm not doing that, you know.
So your boys are, and are they both fighter? Do they train?
No, my oldest son did, and now he's moved on to other things in his life, and he's done that MMA fighting. He's fought quite a few times.
Are you the one of them
Fought back
scrappy kids?
there. Oh, they both real scrappy. Oldest one's super scrappy. He could make a career out of it.
Do they get it though? Time and place, like stay out of the judicial system if they can.
Man, hard. They haven't learned that. The oldest one hasn't learned that one yet,
Yeah,
but he will. I guess it took me a lot of time. So
Yeah,
it's going to take him a lot longer. I think he's a little more stubborn. It's going to take him a little
Yeah.
longer to learn it. But he's fought a few times and done really good.
Okay.
He was one of the guys we took to Iowa with a group. And
Oh,
put
yeah, I
on a
did
show.
know
he
you
did
were
really
fought,
good
yeah.
there, and he's had a pretty decent MMA career, but his life is in a different place. He's doing other things right now. He works and has kids and
Yeah.
runs with his buddies. So they don't. You got to be a fighter. You got to live it.
Yep.
And then my youngest son's got kids too, and he's coaching at Mount Zion
Yeah.
Kids Club Wrestling Program. He volunteers for that and does the family thing, and so
Good for them.
he's always been just wrestling. He never wanted to take on MMA and be confrontational or nothing like that. But they had thrown down back in the day, and
Yeah.
I'd be like, oh, I'm like, yeah, way to go, But then I'm thinking, ooh, shoot, good for them. But it's like, oh gosh,
That's funny.
still being what it is.
Well, I think it's cool that, even if it's you fuck around and build this business up and let them run the damn thing and go start something else here in a few years. You're doing it. You dude.
I'm going to do something else. We took on some siding and soffit crew, and I took on a couple other buddies that I know that are contractors. They started off on their own. They're bringing up their business. It's real easy because, and just like anything else, is you find a contractor that you love, that comes and does exactly what he's supposed to do, says what he's going to do, and he can do other things when you need other things done. You're going to call that contractor
Yes.
first,
Yes, absolutely.
and it could be something that you don't even know nothing
As
about.
will all your friends and family.
Yes, and like if I don't know, I have a guy that Crutchfield did your roof. He's freaking good at it. And he's at your house and you got plumbing problems. He's like, man, I need to find a plumber. Well,
If
I got
he tells
plumber.
you a plumber, yep.
He tells you, you're calling that guy.
Yes.
You are,
Yeah.
and you might not call no one else
Yep.
because
He
you
is now saved as your plumber.
Dude, I got an HVAC guy. I got some rental properties.
Yeah.
I got a guy. Man, he came to my house.
So
I'll
what?
be
You're
right
going to start
there.
doing it all?
No, I'm just saying is that I got this siding guys, and I got this any kind of siding, soffit windows, doors, all that kind of goes with, exterior style work and I'm already doing. Sometimes when I get to a job, somebody needs their fascia and soffit replaced.
Yeah.
And I got to wait till that's done before I
you
do
can.
gutters.
Yeah.
So I get guys that come in. I got these guys that I send down. They do a phenomenal job, and they're
Yeah.
getting better by it. And it also makes it easier that they're not having to go hustle up to work too. It
So
makes
you just do it?
I let them do that part of it, but the homeowner will be like, hey, do you know somebody? Well, now I got it, guys.
Yeah.
So now I can get them on the job site
Cool.
to get that done now, So we're kind of expanding a little bit there,
That's great.
and eventually it'll get into other things,
Yeah.
I don't know what, but again, to other things,
Yeah.
start something else.
Houses always need it.
Man, something's always going to be breaking on it,
Yeah.
We can provide another service, Getting in, working with roofers. I've done some jobs for Crutchfield and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Gave him a few roof referrals and stuff like that. Really haven't. But this year, man, we're so far behind. By the time they get a hold of us, there are people already got their roofs or getting their roofs.
It's it's just now spring is flirting with us a little bit.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, as soon as we had a nice day the other day, woo, my phone ring, 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 and that's probably everybody out there.
Yeah,
Be like, hey,
it's
where am I at on the
ridiculous.
list? Hey, can you come out? So that's a good thing.
Yeah, it is a good thing, but
And
it's
I
also like, hey, you do realize it was literally 11 degrees yesterday.
Dude, I had somebody call me.
It
and
was
like, oh, are you
60.
gonna-
It's 60
are you-
today.
Are you going to be? I'm like, dude, it is literally snowing. It needs to be above 32. I told
There's
one
still ice in the driveway. It's 54 degrees. Well, I
told
mean,
one guy, I'm like,
tell the
"Look,
sun. I don't know.
I will be there before you have to get your lawnmower out.
That's what
There you
I'm
go.
saying. Calm
If you-
down.
If you got to get your mower
Yeah.
out, we're going to have you done.
Yeah,
before you get
what's
your
the
mower.
schedule look like?
Yes.
Looks like I should call the people who work for me and tell them it's spring and I'll get back to you.
It happens, We're trying to got to be more.
People are anxious.
Oh, dude, you would be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, people are anxious for sure.
Yeah.
But that first hailstorm hit us last year, March 31st.
Yeah.
The first one.
Yeah.
You know, so that's coming up. And some people procrastinated all through winter. They procrastinated all through summer because they had summer things going on. By
Right.
the time they got their insurance filled out, it might have been fall.
Yeah. So
Oh,
in my
people are
world,
booked.
they go, storm season is coming. And I'm like going, you're right. You're right. But you did literally go your whole fucking life without caring.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
So, I mean,
Oh, I'm sure.
if a lightning storm happens, you did live your whole life of them. And I know it's important to you now. It's important to me that you have lightning protection. But,
you ain't got none now.
yeah, you don't have it till it's there. So you
Oh, yeah.
are on the list.
Yeah, that happens.
No, but like, hey, we shouldn't complain. It's a good thing to be able to complain about, right?
Oh,
Yeah, we
I'm
love
not
to have the
complaining
phones
of it.
ring.
I like that.
Yeah, you gotta-
I do. My wife says, hey, you should turn that off. It's dinner time, or hey, it's the weekend. So I try to, man, by like noon on Saturday, or
Let it go to voicemail or
all voicemail, all thing, and we let it go to voicemail or turn it off at dinner time and stuff like that because it will.
it'd be
mess with-
disruptive.
But man, homeowners want to meet me when they're home. Well, they work Monday through Friday. Most people.
Which, yeah.
That means they're available on Saturday. Well, I'm a talker. There is almost zero possibility that I could do one bid an hour. If I'm meeting a homeowner, I'm gonna be with you.
Right, yeah,
Because by the
yeah,
time
yeah.
I talk to you about what it is, I measure up, I drive. So how many can you get done before noon? And I have to eat breakfast because I get hungry. So, but if I'm up on Saturday morning, I'm at Deb's Diner by 7.
Yeah, I
or
got
8.
at noon. I only went one place.
Yes, and that's happened before. I'm like,
Oh, shit.
if you keep a customer, you talk to them for more than 15 minutes, keep their interest, and give them a good product, you pretty much almost got the job too.
Yeah. Yeah, you should leave there kind of knowing what's going on.
You should. If you do,
I
especially
usually
if
don't
it's-
go test drive a truck I don't want to buy.
right, or the people you already know. I mean, you already got references. That
Yeah.
somebody give you a reference.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's why I like small business. That's why I support small business. We support it all the time. It doesn't matter what it is, really. We go out to dinner. We'll go to everyone's East End Grill. We'll go to breakfast. I'm at Deb's Diner.
Yeah.
That's my go-tos.
I think the area is pretty good on it. I think the area is pretty good at it.
And I go to Krekel's. We
don't even have a whole lot of big chain restaurants around, do we?
No,
Other than
sad.
like the
Dude, I wish we had a
drive-thru.
Long John Silver's again, dude. I really wish we had
You need
that.
a fishing more, do you?
I need a
some hush
fishing-
puppies.
Dude, that's where I met my wife at. It was on El
LJS.
Yeah, with Long John Silver's on El Dorado. That's my first job. There I was, Mr.
You
Fry
worked
Cook.
there?
Dude, I was a fry guy and the fish man. I flipped.
Them little things that are left over from the fish, some little crunchy things.
Dude,
are fire.
Dude, man, them things have been sitting in the window for like 12 hours straight.
so
dude.
good.
No, so nasty. Then they're burning up. They could have been the ones that fell on the ground.
You left out of there, your shit stunk, bro. But
Dude, I was greasy all the time, man. But my
She
dad
loved
and that
you.
lady, dude, I'd bring home all leftovers. I'd bring it home so they
Fish
all
and
eat
chicken.
It.
Fish
Dude,
and
fish
chicken.
and chicken and hush,
Hush
puppies.
puppies.
I don't even eat hush puppies nowadays. I don't. I work there.
Long John Silver's, bro. I
Dude, but
forgot
man,
about
wouldn't that.
that.
Be awesome, dude, if we had one again. We had two at one time. We had two. We had one on
You know
Eldo
what?
and one on Main.
Yeah, they put a.
I wish we had that again.
What was that pizza joint? They put that one that used to be at the mall that had upstairs and downstairs.
Garcia?
That's what was at the Long John
On
Silver's.
Eldo, yeah.
I didn't ever go there, but I seen it was there, and now it's closed completely.
That's another thing. Community, a lot of things was closing.
Yeah,
Times are changing on a lot of things. It's
yeah.
shoot. I heard Hooters was closing in a lot of places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The price of junky wings, the price of chicken going up, and people are eating different. And people
Yeah,
are faster in their lives nowadays. So freaking Hickory River, it closed down. So
yeah. I was just trying to, as you said that, I was thinking to myself, like, what are good places? I don't.
got a lot of Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, we
got a shit ton of them.
Yeah, which Mexican's good.
Good. I mean, we just got. I think I counted one day. I think we have 12 Mexican restaurants in Decatur area.
Yeah.
between Mount Zion and Forsyth.
It'll be good to see what Woody does with the beach house. I like the beach house anyway.
I'm glad they bought
That's
out.
a good person for it.
Yeah, that is definitely a cool place. That'd be cool to see something different, something new.
I haven't been to that Bevo's out there.
No, we're gonna actually tonight. We're gonna go to 4-9. We're gonna go to 4-9.
Have you been?
I've been one. I think we've been one time before they moved. We
Okay.
haven't been since they moved.
All right.
we're
Yeah, I
going
heard they got
tonight.
some good shit.
We're going there tonight, so
You shall
time I
see.
have some other podcast sometime. I'll come back and talk about it.
See if they
Going
were.
there.
See, I heard they're on point.
Yeah, good. We're gonna find out.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I appreciate you coming in and talking. I'm glad things are going well for you.
Yeah, man, I appreciate
You deserve
Yeah.
it.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's hard work, dude. You know, just hard work. That's it.
The reps don't lie.
No, I told people that no matter how intensity will never overtake,
Yeah.
a time that you've been in the gym. If you're there more, it doesn't matter how hard you worked out.
And that's it. Your
know what I
gym could be your time on the ladder hanging gutters. The gym could be
Dude,
your
yeah,
time in front of whatever you do for a living. But it
You
is.
got to put in. You got
your
to put
reps,
in
bro.
the time. You got to put in the time.
Yeah. I think, that's it. That's what the younger generation. There are really good ideas that are making young people rich beyond our wildest dreams that I just don't know how to do. But overall, the people who are entrepreneurs that are in their 40s, even
That's right.
30s, 40s, 50s, it's because they fucking failed a lot.
You ain't gonna make it.
They
You gotta
tried and failed
Nope,
and,
that didn't
and
work. Do
tried
something
and
different.
tried and didn't give up and fucking ate ramen noodles and ate shit and got tapped up
and you got to take a risk.
and took risks. Yeah.
Definitely got to take risks.
Yeah. Well, dude, well, thanks for your service in the military.
Yeah,
I've
man,
never
no
told you that. Appreciate that. And thanks for just being a buddy to me. I've known you for a while. You've always been good to me.
Dude, we didn't even talk about dogs, dude. We talked about
Oh
your
yeah!
drone.
Before we
didn't
do
even talk
that,
about drone.
let's talk. Well, first
Talk
of
about
all,
dog, the number one where
he's
we're good
been
friends.
on here as Drone sat in that chair.
Yeah, so like
Wait, what happened to Drone's dad, dude?
Glock.
Yeah.
Well, Grand Champion Glock was close to 8 years old. He's about the time we really weren't showing him anymore.
Yeah. What was he
Life has changed, a little bit. Once you get some age on you in the dog game, by the time he's 8, you got to figure that's a 70-some-year-old man.
Yeah.
8-year-old man on dog years. And we went on a cruise ship and had a dog sitter, and he's a male, big time he's a breeding stud. So man, this dude wants to breed no matter what.
Yeah.
And there must have been a dog in heat in the neighborhood or coyotes, because man, that dude go outside, he'll act crazy if there's a dog in heat
Oh, yeah.
anywhere. Well, he tried to break out of his cage and ended up passing away trying to break out of his dog kennel when we had a dog sitter. And it was just very sad to be on a cruise ship to find out your dog died. But
I can't imagine being the
You
dog
know.
sitter.
dude, I know if that's bad. Yeah, it happened, and we had a dog sitter, but you weren't in the room at the time. You weren't there at the time.
Yeah, no,
But
I can't imagine the dog sitter had to just be like, oh my.
Yeah, so I had to have son come and get him, and then we took him had him cremated and stuff like that. He was a good dog, but like I said, he wasn't in the show game no more, and
I like
so
that big head fucker, man.
We're probably going to get back into some type of bully breed. We might go something smaller, Frenchie or Shorty Bull or a
Hell
pocket
yeah.
bully. We might get back into that, but right now with life being with this business and
Let
granddaughter,
me show you. I'm going to show you something.
it's a full-time job.
Look what's on Drone's back.
Oh, nice one. Yeah, got a little Merle too.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I just got him.
Yeah, we're looking at getting granddaughter wants one, and
Heck yeah.
we got a cat. I didn't know if anybody's never thought I was to be a cat person. I'm really not, but we have this cat, and come to find out it's a Siamese cat. And I didn't know
Cats are pretty cool, dude.
I didn't know what a Siamese cat mannerisms are, and then I found out what they were after we got this cat. This cat, I think, is on drugs. I think at all times.
He's
cat.
high?
I think his cat's got some tisms. I tell you that. I think a lot. This cat is definitely on some different. He's on a spectrum. This cat is. He just
What's he do?
just be just talking meow 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 for no reason at all. And then about like 6 o'clock at night, 8 to 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, about the time the sun starts to go down, cat just goes on like a full berserk through the house, running around, jumping, chasing things, chases its tail. It's just it wants to box and fight all the time. It wants to sap. We had all his claws taken out, so it won't tear you up, but it wants to box and carry on. But no, this cat don't shut up though, man.
Oh, it fucks with you.
Dude, this cat just talks the whole time in the middle of the night, middle of the day.
Oh yeah.
It gets lonely. It just won't stop talking, you know.
yeah.
And then he tries to get up on TV stands and runs all through the house. My granddaughter loves it, but man, this cat,
It's too much.
man, I'm like, ooh, this cat. Well, I remember when I had a cat, that dude was chill. Like he would just lay around.
That's
and
what
just
mine
chill
is.
Shit. No, not this cat. This cat's all over the place, man.
I got one that I got it for here for mice because I had mice here, and I'd never had a cat ever. My mom suggested it because I'm like, dude, I can't even. My little kitchen area couldn't have anything. Fucking come by, be ate up. She's like, get a barn cat or something. So I put the word out, get one, bring it here. Dude, it's playing fuck. I got it on security cameras. This thing's tossing these mice up, leaving them for me. So it takes care of the problem like that. One day my son's like, this cat's pretty chill. What, can we take him home? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Bring him. So I had like 2 different litter boxes. So I bring it home, set it up there, and kind of we take him back and forth a little bit. Well, he's at the house too. And, I don't know that there's such thing as cats that go outside, like, and then come back. So, like, I'm all over fucking posting on Facebook, the neighborhood group, lost my cat, ran away, and then it's like underneath the grill cover in my backyard.
He's back.
Runs inside. Oh, never mind. Again the next day. Then he crawls out from underneath the truck. And finally somebody was like, dude, your cat might just be an outdoor cat, And I'm like, what? Like and sure enough, the fucker's an outdoor cat, bro. He kills all types of shit.
It's like hunter all day long.
Leaves that shit on the deck.
Yeah. Here's a bird.
Birds, bunnies, possums,
Dude, the possum killer.
raccoons.
Dude, he be fighting raccoons.
And he's not big, dude.
He be fighting raccoons.
Like before I let the dogs out, I gotta clean the deck off because the dogs will bring that shit in. The cat don't.
Yeah, cat like, hey, here.
Cat's like, hey, here you go, bro.
Look what I did.
Yeah, the dog come in like.
Hey, look what I found. Yeah. Yeah, I had it. Yeah.
So I call him. His name's Astro, but I call him. He's just Killer Kitty, man. It's Killer Kitty. Yeah, Killer Kitty.
Yeah,
all I know is that right before I go to bed every night, he's by the back door like this. Ow! I'm like, you ready to go out? Yeah.
It's hunting time.
It's about to get it. Yeah. If it's snowing, dude, it's cold. It's ow!
All right, get out. Go. No, my cat ain't going outside.
No, yeah, mine.
Mine's a little.
Mine don't even use mine. The litter box has not ever been used, bro.
He just goes outside.
I don't even. Yeah, doesn't. I don't think he eats. He just goes, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're gonna probably get us a Frenchie or something. That's what
Yeah,
we're
dogs are cool. Well,
That's my thing.
I'd be more than happy to return a favor because I think your buddy's gonna.
There you go. That'd be nice. That'd be cool. He's got,
I
got
did,
a nice dog.
I did. Yeah, we linked up. I told him what you had advised me to tell
Is that a
him.
good one?
And
He's
yeah,
on-
he
he's on
said
point?
he's like yeah, I think that sounds really good. I was like, all right, well, let me know what you want
That's
to
the
do.
best. That's the best option for the first one. At least you can get some.
So did I tell you that I took drone to a show last year?
Yeah, you said that.
I did.
It was pretty cool to go see other dogs, and
Did I tell you how that went?
probably didn't go great.
No, it didn't go great
Drone
because
was
I
probably
didn't.
full.
Well, I didn't take him to show him. I took him to see it, and then I met Antonio,
Edwards, yeah,
dude, the guy.
yeah,
You know,
yeah. So when you take him to the show, and Drone's not been around a bunch of other dogs like that, it kind of triggers all these extra. He like
so
fight or flight, or he
oddly
get
enough,
angry, or
because
just
I had
chill.
him in public so much, he was cool. So this
Oh, that's good, then.
this tricked Antonio because dude got a hold of me and was just like, "Hey,
I'm gonna be at the
you're
show."
you're up by Indiana," and I go, "Well, compared to you,
yes.
yeah."
Yeah.
He's like, "Hey, if you want to shoot over," I was like, "Yeah, that's cool. I'll actually bring drone over." He's like, "All right, cool." So I see pictures of, and if I said the name of the dog, you'd actually know it. I'm drawing a blank right now. But anyway, you know, I've seen the dog, and in my mind,
Hoover Dam. Hoover.
Yep.
Yep.
So in my mind, Drone is going to be the little dog. And that was not the case. Matter of fact, before we go, I don't take, Drone's been to the groomer, but I just washed him up. I take care of him very well anyway. But I, you know, trim his whiskers, trim his nails, get him all just tightened up. We go to the show, and him and Hoover Dam meet outside, and I'm like blown away at the camera must add 20 pounds. You know
Boy,
what I
that's
mean?
every bit of it.
Because I'm like going, oh shit, Drone just started looking bigger.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
Get next to a smaller dog, they'd be like, damn.
Yeah, and it
And
was.
that's also hard to compare too. You
Yes,
know what I mean?
and
It's
it
hard to
was,
compare your dog
and
to
it was
another
really
dog.
impressive because it was like Hoover's reaction was kind of aggressive, and dude was like, boom, boom, laid that dog on its side, and I just lay there.
Yeah.
We stood up for a minute, and he was like, "That's your fucking brother." Blah, 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 blah. We stood there and talked for a minute. He's like, "Now you get back up." We're like, okay, we got that. So we go inside. He's like, you ain't never showed him. I go, no. He goes, man, he ain't. I go, no. He's always around people. He knows not to react to dogs because we go to ball games and shit, and he's not allowed to go fuck up the labradoodles. So he don't give a fuck about these dogs. And he goes, oh, dude, that's the hard part. Man, you sure you don't want to show him? And I go, oh, I'm sure I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know that me and him are about to split a Philly cheesesteak. That's all.
Yeah. Dude, that show thing's hard. Like
Oh.
I said, I took my dogs I took Glock to a professional trainer to get him show quality because it takes a lot
Oh, yeah.
to get paperwork and to get shows. You just can't take your dog. You figured it out. You can't just throw him in there and he's gonna be around other dogs that have been working out and doing what they're supposed to be doing. Drone gonna be in there
Dude.
acting a fool, gonna
Dude.
be turning around circles and running around this way and running around this way. And
Oh, yeah. So he
Sit
says,
down.
man, let me step back here with him and work. No, this was on Friday night, all this happened. And, you know, so then Saturday and Sunday is when it's really popping.
Yeah.
So he's like, man, let's you're coming Saturday? Yeah. He's like, all right, let me just work with him for a minute in the morning. And if things go how I think they will, I'm going to enter him in.
Yeah.
I'll pay for it.
Yeah.
You got pictures of his shit? I go, yeah. He goes, you got his paperwork? I go, I got pictures of it. He goes, it's all we need. I said, all right. We get there at 9 o'clock in the morning. Mind you, they don't start competing until 4:30. We're there at 9 in the morning.
Makes it a long day.
Walk in, and he's like, bam. He grabs one of the show leads that he has, puts it on Drone. Drone walks over here with him. He takes Drone down. Boom, takes him back. Boom, takes him down, takes him back. He goes, bro, I'm signing him up. And he goes, and I go, what's it cost? He goes, like $100. So I'm like, I'll sign. I don't have a problem with paying it. I'm just saying, he don't know what the fuck's going on.
No.
And I go, the kennel that I have, I literally went and bought at Walmart because I didn't even bring one.
Yeah, you had to buy one so you can take your dog in the
Yeah.
show.
And he's like, all right. He goes, but this will go fine. So he goes over, and you know how they have people that make the leads? He buys Drone a lead, whatever. First show comes, 3:30. Drone hasn't took a fucking nap. He's trying to figure out why he's been on lockdown all day. He's
why?
been like this, just
Freaking out.
staring while all the other dogs are sleeping. They're coming by like, man, that dog is beautiful. He's just posted up. He's like, I'm fucking crying.
Well, let me out,
I'm
bitch.
sad.
Let me out.
Yeah. Why are you taking pictures of me?
This is stupid. Fucking
So yeah,
pervert.
by the time he gets out, a motherfucker goes to grab them gums. He's like,
He's mad at the mug.
yeah, grabbing balls. He's sitting down. He's turning. So I'm
mad.
out of sight, but I can see. Dude is looking for me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
that's why I had to
yeah.
hide. Dude, I used to have to hide from
I'm
Glock.
like, yeah, we ain't. I remember you telling me
I'm
that.
like, dude, you can't even let that dude see you because as soon as he sees me, he breaks concentration
Look.
and he's done. He'd be like ready to go. They were like, man, you got to go. He's looking for you, you know. And it took that. We did have to do that. But like I said, we sent him to a trainer and gave him away for like 5 weeks, dude, which was kind of hard to give my dog away for 5 weeks. But it turned out to be a blessing. He
did it.
He did what he needed to do and got where he needed to
Dude.
be and got the credentials he needed to be. But then he became an old dog and times changed and COVID's been ruining
Yeah.
it, really. COVID, they stopped having shows. People wearing masks everywhere. People ain't got the money to go. So that kind of slowed down, you know, the dog show scene for us. And he was getting older, and well, man, I still got some good dogs now. I got a 5-year-old that a buddy of mine, I co-own with him, and so he got that, and my son has some dogs. And,
Yeah.
but it's just, and they're good level dogs.
Them
They're just not
Frenchies are
shook
cool, bro.
All right. I think of that size. I think it's more the
Or
size.
them micros or whatever they are. Them not mic. What are they called? Just the ones that are a little bit smaller than ours,
Micros.
but not the ones that have the fucking crazy
Yeah, then they're pockets.
pockets. There you go.
Pockets are cool too, you know. And if I would get another bully, it would be on the more pocket side.
Yeah.
But dude,
I kind of like how some of them look like Hercules.
man,
Those are kind of decent.
right now, that's not my.
Not your jam?
We're just busy in life.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna do some camping more this year and do some more boating and do more things.
Good for you. Some self care, man.
Yeah, and last year we didn't slow down. In the year before, of course, we didn't have opportunities over the past couple of years.
Right.
Our lives have been really busy, you know.
Yeah.
You know,
Do a little
life throws
boating,
you-
biking, camping.
Yeah, life throws you some monkey wrenches. You got to overcome it, and we had to overcome it. And
Yeah.
we're finally getting in our groove, you know. getting our
Enjoy a little
groove.
bit again.
Got to enjoy it, man. Life's too short, you know.
Faux show. All right, dude. We're gonna wrap up, and hey, if you need gutters,
Oh yeah, man. Give
Stars
me a
and
shout out.
Stripes.
Stars and Stripes Seamless Gutter.
Yeah.
Man, you know, find me on Facebook.
yep, there you go.
Veteran discounts, senior discounts,
There you go. He's your
friend
guy.
discounts, man. I'll hook you up.
There you go. All right. Well, thanks for joining me, man. Hey, thank you guys for joining again, and I'll catch you on the next one. Till then, be kind to each other. Thank you. Hey, before we call it a day today, I want to remind you about our host for this season, and that is Buick Commercial Real Estate. Reach out to Cole Babcock for all your commercial real estate needs, whether it's buying, selling, leasing, or investing. Reach out to Cole at cole@buickrealestate.com, or you can hit him up on all social media platforms. He's everywhere. Just look for Cole Babcock. Or you can call them 217-450-8500, or Colby Geiser's got a crew, and Dara got a crew over there at Clean Cut Painting and Handyman for all your painting and small construction needs. Reach out Clean Cut Painting and Handyman. They're serving Decatur and Springfield area. They got you covered for everything that you may need to get done around your house, inside or outside. Hit them up and get them scheduled today. And lastly, for all your custom apparel needs, bam, Oakwood Screen Printing. Hit them up, oakwoodscreenprinting.com. Use promo code BB217 for 15% off. You come up with the design, you send it to them, they hook you up. You pick the size, you pick the quantity, you pick the quality. Get 15% off. Order from anywhere you want, get it shipped to you, and it's a no-brainer. Order for your company, order for your team, order for yourself. Let's go. They're the go-to. Hey, thanks for joining this for this episode, and we'll catch you for the next episode, which will be the season finale.
Brought to you by Buick Real Estate. Let's dive deep. It's gonna be great. So grab a seat. Don't miss the ride. Beyond business with Nick. Let's take it in stride. Join the conversation. Let's make it last. With stories and insights, we're happy.